Chapter 585. In the end, he'd been targeted by experts from the blood world. Jiangli felt very uncomfortable, but he wasn't afraid. On the contrary, he was eager to fight. He'd survived the last battle, and now that he was being targeted by the young blood devil, his fighting spirit began to boil. Fight, fight, fight. There was only one word in his mind. However, he didn't attack. Instead, he smiled and moved to stand in front. Powerful existence from the blood world, what conditions do you wish to discuss with us? Whoosh. The blood-colored light faded away. The young blood devil moved to stand next to Jiangli and the three immortals. My name is Xuejing. You're not from the immortal world, are you? You don't have the blessing of the will of the immortal world on you. These three are from the immortal world, but you're not. And your temperament doesn't seem to belong to any world. Are you perhaps a native of the myriad world's celestial sphere? This guy has sharp eyes, Jiangli thought. Jiangli thought to himself, however, the stronger I am, the more I want to fight to seek a breakthrough. Just now, my soul flame grew stronger by quite a bit. Maybe in battle, I'll be able to condense more moves from the infinite divine fist. I might even be able to successfully cultivate the four great laws and complete the matrix of the infinite great Tao. That's right. I'm from the myriad world's celestial sphere. Jiangli replied coolly. Xuejing, powerful existence from the blood world, what do you want? Do you want to refine the myriad world's celestial sphere? Take over the home of humanity? Refine the myriad world's celestial sphere? No, no, no. Xuejing laughed. I don't have the ability to do that. The gods of the blood world will do it, and the heavenly will of the blood world will devour the myriad world's celestial sphere. Your home? That's easy. You'll all join the blood world and become blood devils. You'll never die, you'll never grow old. Wouldn't that be the best of both worlds? Fellow Taoist, the three immortals urged Jiangli. Let's get out of here. Don't waste time with him. Let's avoid the danger and wait for the passageway to the immortal world to open again. We'll send experts to deal with him. Rumble. Just at this moment, Jiangli punched out. His body teleported and appeared right in front of Xuejing. 8 desolations and 6 harmonies, I am the sole sovereign. My aura devours mountains and rivers, and my martial Tao is matchless. Jiangli took a step forward and teleported. His might was boundless, and his martial Tao was boundless. The transformations of the infinite divine fist started to be activated, and all sorts of different combinations formed an aura that could suppress everything. Everything in the world started to disappear, and the only thing left behind was his infinite divine fist. This was his fist technique. He actually had some of the domineering aura of the martial ancestor Ba Liming. This was the fist technique that he had watched the martial ancestor Ba Liming personally execute. After that, he gained control of the Lord's optical supercomputer and deduced the true intent of the martial Tao. Then, he integrated it into his infinite divine fist. This way, his fist technique seemed to have an unfathomable majesty. His infinite divine fist was exquisite beyond compare. After simplifying it, he fused the first 6 moves into the infinite origin. Once the transformations of this move were activated, he would be the only origin in the vast universe. He would be born from nothingness and evolve all things. From beginning to end, he would be lifeless and indestructible. The infinite divine fist's infinite origin, infinite future, infinite liberation, infinite freedom, infinite heavens, infinite calamity, infinite destiny, infinite eternity, infinite termination, infinite instant, and infinite devouring. When these 11 moves were stacked together, they formed an inescapable net that shook the sky and scattered all the blood clouds. Then, he threw another punch at Blood Devil Xuejing's head. What? Xuejing was shocked. He actually broke through my blood shadow divine light? Xuejing was surrounded by a circle of blood shadow divine light. This blood shadow divine light was the power of blood that could change time and space. Anyone who entered it would immediately fall into the deepest level of a space-time maze. It could turn a speck of dust into a vast universe. It was similar to the legendary yin and yang dust formation. This way, any attack that came into contact with the blood shadow divine light would be distorted, absorbed, converted, and even reflected. It would not be able to attack Xuejing's body at all. However, Jiang Li's sudden punch was like the god of creation splitting open the chaos, forcefully breaking through his blood shadow divine light. Then, another punch with the power to uproot mountains and rivers came crashing down from the sky, causing the 5 great paths in his body to feel like they were collapsing inch by inch. On that day, when martial ancestor Ba Liming attacked, any great path, magical treasure, or formation would be destroyed with a single punch. Under his iron fist, no one could withstand a single round. Jiang Li had already deeply learned the essence of it. Deep in his soul, there was an unstoppable will and spirit. This was the true essence of martial arts. However, how could Xuejing be defeated by these attacks? After all, he was an outstanding figure in the blood realm, a figure with 5 great paths. Seeing the fist coming down, he moved slightly. He extended his palm. However, his palm was not the color of blood, but pure white jade. With a slight grasp, bloody light surged out, and in the depths of the bloody light, countless blood-colored lotuses appeared. Blood lotus blossoms. He chanted a long chant. The blood lotus spun and shot out countless rays of bloody light. It shook the air and completely blocked Jiang Li's fist technique. It couldn't enter at all. Your fist technique is very powerful, but it's a pity that you're no match for me because your cultivation level is too low. However, it's a miracle that you can use such a violent martial arts fist technique with such a low cultivation level. I'd like to train you into an outer body clone and see how effective it is, Xuejing said casually with a finger. His martial arts was very gentle and peaceful, without any bloody aura. In fact, it was a little charming and bewitching, very feminine. However, the killing power of his martial arts was unprecedented. Whoosh! With a finger, layers of space were cut open, and it accurately hit Jiang Li's fist. Jiang Li's body shook violently, as if he had been stabbed by a needle. His whole body was in pain, and in the depths of his mind, above his soul fire, thousands of long blood-colored needles had appeared, stabbing his soul fire. How about the blood shadow needle? Xuejing smiled faintly and moved forward again. With another finger, a long blood shadow needle appeared on his fingertip. With a slight stroke, the sky cracked, and a dreamy blood-colored luster appeared on the blood shadow needle. Jiang Li retreated again and again, completely defeated. Why are you running? Xuejing chuckled. He was already in front of Jiang Li, stabbing him again. His soul seemed to have locked onto Jiang Li's soul fire. No matter how many shadows Jiang Li created, it was useless. Jiang Li was stabbed by the blood shadow needle, and his whole body ached. It was a pain that came from the depths of his soul, and he was almost unable to activate his great path and infinite divine fist. Moreover, with him as the center, thin lines that looked like blood appeared in all directions. They appeared in the air, and they all wrapped around him, as if they wanted to shrink him in one go. Then, like a spider, they would wrap around him, capture him, and kill him. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Many sword qi appeared on Jiang Li's body. This was the sword qi formed by the combination of the immortal slaying great path and the immortal end great path. Once this sword qi appeared, it sliced through the air and attacked Xuejing's body. Oh? It's actually the immortal slaying great path and the immortal end great path? Xuejing seemed to be a little surprised. His body began to retreat, as if he could not withstand the attack of the 2 great paths combined. Jiang Li finally had the upper hand. He roared, and after the 2 swords combined, it was like a divine dragon circling in the air, slashing at Xuejing's body, making it almost impossible for him to recover. Blood shadow vault of the heavens. As Xue Jing retreated, he moved his hands, and all the blood-colored lines gathered together, forming a vault of the heavens that withstood the attack of the sword qi. The sword qi bombarded the vault of the heavens, but it was blocked, and it could not penetrate. Blood Demon's great palm. At this moment, Xue Jing's fist technique changed. He opened his fingers and waved them outwards. With a thunderous sound, the air was torn apart, and a giant blood-colored palm appeared. Many blood-colored demons the size of thumbs danced in the air, and they released the heavenly blood curse that filled the area. The moment the heavenly blood curse pressed down, Jiang Li's body changed. The footwork of the infinite divine fist spun slightly, and he dodged the attack of the blood-colored palm. However, when he dodged, the blood-colored palm turned into a giant blood-colored crater where he had been, and even the space seemed to have turned into a sea of blood. Not bad, not bad. Xue Jing's body moved slightly, and a look of admiration appeared on his face. Your cultivation is indeed not bad. You've already reached an unfathomable level, especially that fist technique. It's like it's stealing the fortune of heaven and earth. I don't think I've ever seen it before. Did you create it yourself? I knew that if life was born from the myriad worlds' celestial sphere, it would inherit the will of the myriad worlds' celestial sphere and possess the intelligence to communicate with the myriad worlds. It seems that you really are like that. I'm very pleased. I found a treasure the moment I came to the third dimension, and you are a treasure even more precious than a treasure. All of a sudden, Xue Jing's body trembled, and many blood-colored lotuses appeared above his head. Each one gave birth to a blood-colored Buddha. Yes, it was a blood-colored Buddha. The Buddha's face was full of benevolence, and it kept chanting all sorts of scriptures. The scriptures formed an incantation again, and as it prayed, the entire world began to change. Jiang Li and the three immortals suddenly realized that the space-time in front of them had shifted. It had become a blood-colored world, and in the depths of the blood-colored world, Xue Jing's body was surrounded by countless Buddhas. These Buddhas seemed to have been raised by him. In front of them, it had become a blood-colored world. Jiang Li couldn't escape at all. This wasn't a simple world, but a devil fetus. The blood demon placenta was also a magic treasure. It was this magic treasure that blocked off the pressure of the third dimension universe, preventing him from being suppressed. Everyone, this is one of the most powerful magic treasures of the blood realm. It's called the blood demon fetus, and it's formed from the blood and flesh of countless experts. After countless refinements, it finally turns into a placenta. This placenta is an anomaly in the third dimension, and after being blessed by a god, it will become a connate great Tao. Now you will become the fetus in this placenta. Chapter 586. Now that Xue Jing had summoned the blood demon fetus, Jiang Li felt as if he had fallen into the depths of a small blood world. He did not have any chance to fight back. He frowned but did not panic. At this moment, even if he encountered any danger, he would not panic, because there was nothing in this world that could cause him to panic. He saw through everything. The world was vast and the earth expanded infinitely. The three immortals looked at everything in front of them. They were wary of each other and tried to break out, but they probably could not escape. If not for Jiang Li's resistance, they would have been melted by the blood placenta in front of them. The blood demon fetus kept wriggling, and it gave off a power of digestion. Jiang Li felt that the infinite true qi around him was being refined. He had no choice but to use his endless devouring fist power to resist. A black hole came out of his body, trying to absorb the power of the blood demon fetus. But no matter how he tried, the blood demon fetus could not be absorbed into his body. It was obvious that his cultivation had not reached the level where he could break the blood demon fetus. Rumble. At this time, Xue Jing used his most powerful technique. Woo woo woo, countless blood Buddhas chanted sutras again, and the speed of the placenta's wriggling doubled. Jiang Li felt that his endless devouring could not resist the power of digestion. The difference in level was too great. On that day, Long Zetian and the other 6 great experts besieged him, but they didn't manage to kill him. However, each of the 6 great experts was only a powerhouse with 3 grand daos. Even if the 6 great experts joined forces, they might not be able to defeat a powerhouse with 4 grand daos. But now, Xue Jing was an invincible person with 5 grand daos. With just a wave of his hand, killing 100 Long Zetian was nothing difficult. Every additional great Tao was like the difference between the heavens and the earth. For example, 2 people with 1 vitality could not defeat a person with 2 vitality. Even 10 people with 1 vitality could not defeat a person with 2 vitality. The difference of 1 great Daos was even greater. But the good thing was that the 3rd dimension rejected experts with more than 3 great Daos. So people with 3 great Daos could be called kings in the 3rd dimension. If Xue Jing had attacked Jiangli back then, Jiangli would have died 10,000 times over. Even Jiangli found it difficult to defend against the current attack. His opponent's blood demon fetus wriggled with an earth-shattering power, containing all sorts of corrosive, digesting, and crushing powers. Pu. The 3 immortals coughed out a mouthful of blood and roared, "Gore fiend, don't force us! Otherwise, we'll sacrifice ourselves and attract the heaven's will of the immortal world. You won't be able to escape then, we'll take you down with us." Sacrifice? Blood Devil Xue Jing laughed. Sacrifice is useless. You sacrificed yourselves, and the power of your sacrifice can't escape the fetters of the Blood Devil embryo. So your prayers, and all sorts of communication are useless. The will of the immortal world won't listen to your pleas. The 3 immortals secretly communicated with each other, and found that they really couldn't communicate with the immortal world. Instantly, their expressions became very unsightly. Jiangli waved his hand, and his boundless true energy spread out to protect the 3 of them. He roared, "What do you want, Blood Devil Xue Jing? Do you really want to refine us? I can choose not to refine you, but I want to leave my spiritual mark in your soulfires. You'll be under my complete control, and then you'll work for me. Even though I've come to the 3rd dimension, there's a bit of a repulsive force, so I can't move easily. I need a spokesperson. You can be my loyal dogs and spokesperson. How about it?" Blood Devil Xue Jing smiled like a woman. "In that case, you're delusional." Jiangli sat down cross-legged and circulated his true energy. An energy matrix appeared around him to protect him. He didn't have the Grand Emperor Relic with him. The Grand Emperor Relic was placed on Planet Infinity to protect the destiny of the entire human race. At the same time, in the depths of Planet Infinity, the Grand Emperor Relic was connected to the Lord ship's AI, activating the intelligence of the insectoid mainframe and beginning to merge with Heaven's will. At the very last moment, this Grand Emperor Relic would become the optical computer of the entire human race. At that time, the human world would form a god nation that could float freely in the 3-dimensional universe. It could even float to other dimensions. In short, as the human population grew, and the destiny grew stronger, the Grand Emperor Relic's power would gradually be unleashed. Jiangli didn't have the Grand Emperor Relic with him at all times, because he felt that he needed to train himself. He didn't need any treasures, and he needed to be independent. That was the strongest existence he could be. So, besides the immortal slaying Great Tao and immortal ending Great Tao, he didn't have any treasures with him. He just fought the elites of the myriad races here. This was the best way to train himself. "You want to resist the power of my blood demon fetus?" Blood Devil Xue Jing was a little curious. He put his palms together. Blood fills the heavens. Instantly, the sea of blood surged, and blood sprayed from the mouths of the blood-colored Buddhas. "I want to see if you can resist my refinement. I'll use the 1,000 Buddhas' nirvana and turn it into a sea of blood. You'll meet your doom." The blood-colored Buddhas sprayed blood from their mouths, eyes, and orifices. Then, they began nirvana. The 1,000 Buddhas nirvana. These blood Buddhas were formed from extremely strong willpower, and they were no different from real Buddhas. They waved their hands and began to undergo nirvana, using their own nirvana force to produce the strongest cultivation base. This was Jiang Li's first time seeing Buddha nirvana, and it was the 1,000 Buddhas nirvana. At the moment of nirvana, heaven and earth seemed to shrink, as if returning to its original state. It was as if the entire world had returned to a connate demon fetus. Nirvana was a return. The 1,000 Buddhas nirvana represented the world returning to the era of the placenta. At this moment, he himself seemed to become a part of the placenta. He felt his great path crumbling and disintegrating. The great path of nirvana contained within the demon fetus. Nirvana. Suddenly, he had a flash of inspiration. He seemed to have comprehended the profound meaning of the infinite divine fist again. A wave of joy rippled in his heart. Ha 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 ha! His spirit was very cheerful, and it spread out. This surprised blood devil Xuejing. What are you laughing at? Xuejing said, the 1,000 Buddhas nirvana has begun, and the world has returned to the era of the placenta. There is no way to reverse it. Your fate has been decided, and even I cannot stop it. Next, you will completely melt into the depths of the placenta. Your wisdom, soul fire, and martial comprehension will all belong to me. Is that so? Jiang Li suddenly roared. I have to thank you. You actually allowed me to comprehend the martial path to a deeper level. My infinite divine fist has broken through to the 12th move. Infinite nirvana. Rumble. At this moment, when Jiang Li saw the 1,000 Buddhas nirvana in the demon fetus, he truly comprehended the true meaning of nirvana. Nirvana was to return to the void, break through everything, and be reborn in the fire of desire. It would wash away all the sins and karma of the original. Once you reached nirvana, your karma would be completely severed and washed away. Therefore, nirvana was like this. After nirvana, you would be a new self. Therefore, in this extremely dangerous demon fetus, he comprehended the 12th move of the infinite divine fist, infinite nirvana. Infinite nirvana was a move that completely severed one's self, and a new self would appear. There would no longer be any entanglement between the past self and the present self. Jiang Li stood up from the demon fetus, and he shook his fist. Crackle! His entire body burned with flames. These were not ordinary flames, nor were they his own soul fire. Instead, all of his energy was self-combusting, as if a phoenix was buried in a sea of fire. Infinite nirvana, I will bury my body in the sea of fire, and be reborn once more, severing karma. Jiang Li's fist spread out. His movements were very slow, but his body was born with origin power. His old self turned to ash, and within the raging flames, a new self was born. This was the 12th move of the infinite divine fist that he had just comprehended, infinite nirvana. When infinite nirvana was used, Jiang Li's fist pierced through the limits of the universe, unlocking the secrets of both the immortal and demonic paths. The blood-colored placenta was actually torn apart by him, and a large hole appeared. Light shot in from outside, and Jiang Li grabbed the 3 immortals and jumped out of the blood-colored placenta. Blood Devil Xuejing roared and opened his mouth. The blood devil placenta was actually swallowed into his body, and then he stood in front of Jiang Li. You actually broke my blood devil fetus? He seemed to want to attack, but he was also very wary. Jiang Li's punch just now had him shuddering. Infinite Nirvana's punch was profound, and even he couldn't easily block it. Didn't you see it just now? Is there a need to ask? Jiang Li said. Blood Devil Xuejing, you can't do anything to me, but I admit that I can't do anything to you either. We shouldn't be enemies. Although all the races have come to fight for the myriad world sphere, if we fight, the demons and the nether will benefit from it. That's not worth it, right? Although Jiangli had just comprehended infinite nirvana and broken free of the blood devil fetus, he also knew that it was impossible for him to defeat blood devil Xuejing. His opponent's cultivation was too strong, and he had 5 great daos. Being able to stay alive and comprehend the strongest move from the pressure was already a huge gain. He also had to thank blood devil in front of him. If it weren't for him, he wouldn't have been able to observe the mysteries of infinite Buddha nirvana and comprehend the 12th move of the infinite divine fist, infinite nirvana. Now that Jiangli had comprehended infinite nirvana, he would no longer have any obstacles in cultivating the 4 great nomological laws. And although his soul fire wasn't as strong as before, it was much purer. It seemed like all the impurities in his soul had been refined out, and some of the karma in the underworld had been severed. Infinite nirvana itself was the severing of karma. Chapter 587. Using the infinite nirvana move, Jiang Li's cultivation rose to another level. His soul fire was clear and flawless. The flames danced and danced, gathering into flames, which then gathered into torches. At this moment, Jiang Li had a clearer understanding of his own soul fire. The flames had many colors, and their purity was unprecedented. The soul fire was the manifestation of the experts of various races. The purity of the soul fire was very important. In the world, because of many different things, people's thoughts would be contaminated with a lot of negative emotions and impurities. The soul fire constantly burned in order to refine these impurities and maintain its purity. Now, Jiangli had mastered the infinite nirvana move. He could cut off his karma and be reborn. At every moment, his soul fire was at its strongest and purest. He was fearless. His confidence was unprecedentedly strong. Not bad, not bad. Blood devil Xuejing stopped Jiangli, not letting him leave. He praised again. Looks like I can carry out my plan now. What plan do you have? Are you going to kill me again? Jiangli asked. Make us your puppets? Of course not. I admit that you have the strength and qualifications to talk to me. Your fist technique is profound and your martial path is divine. I can't kill you, but you can't do anything to me either. According to the rules of the blood world, you can be friends with such people, Blood Devil Xuejing said. Friends? Jiang Li thought about it. What do you want? Cooperate with me? Of course. The myriad world's celestial sphere is activated. Jiang Li, this is the best place to cultivate. You can communicate with the experts of the myriad races. In time, with this place as the center, spread out, including the entire river system, there will be experts stationed there. When that time comes, we can work together to hunt down the experts of the myriad races and increase our strength. Isn't that a win-win situation? Blood Devil Xuejing said. Hunt down the experts of the myriad races? Jiang Li didn't care. If you can hunt others, others can hunt you. Are the experts of the myriad races so easy to hunt? I don't want to attract hatred, unless it's a race that wants to destroy the world. Only then will I kill them. I can coexist peacefully with other races, but you people from the blood world exist to plunder the blood of other races. In this way, you are my enemy. Don't regret it. Blood Devil Xuejing said softly. I know that you are a native of the myriad realm's celestial sphere, and it is very likely that you are the leader of the natives. This makes it even more dangerous. The souls of the natives of the myriad realm's celestial sphere are very attractive to the heavens' will of any cosmos. Sacrificing you all will allow us to reap great rewards. If you do not cooperate with me, you will definitely become a target of attack in the future. You don't have to worry about that. Jiang Li really didn't want to have anything to do with the people of the blood world, because he knew that any blood devil in the blood world was not trustworthy and could turn hostile at any time. If he cooperated with him, and this blood devil hid in the cultivation world, it would immediately cause a huge disaster. As he spoke, Jiang Li's body moved, tearing space apart and creating a distorted spacetime force field. In the blink of an eye, with him at the center, spacetime violently changed and collapsed. He and the three immortals were trapped inside, and then with a shake, they disappeared without a trace. Good move! Blood Devil Xue Jing sighed in admiration, but didn't chase. This move of Jiang Li's was extremely powerful, and there was a hidden counterattack. If he chased after him, it was very likely that he would be counterattacked and ambushed. His senses were extremely sharp, and he knew that Jiang Li still had many hidden tricks up his sleeve. He smiled slightly. Natives of the myriad realms, celestial sphere, interesting. If I obtain this race and sacrifice them all, I will definitely become a god. The heavens will of the blood world will make me a god. Jiang Li, on the other hand, entered the cultivation world through the passage on Earth. After entering the passage, he activated the heavens' will protection, sealing off the passage. No one could enter through it. Of course, this was to guard against the invasion of powerful experts like the Blood Demon. Meanwhile, the three immortals beside him had entered the cultivation world without a hitch. As soon as they entered the cultivation world, the three immortals were shocked. This is a half-dimension? But it's just a little bit away from becoming a real dimension. It's not easy to give birth to something like this in the universe. Wait. The female immortal's nose twitched. Why is the aura here so familiar? Also, this terrain, the sky, the true Tao of Heaven's will, why is it so similar to our world? It's like a miniature immortal world shrunk a billion times. Apart from that, I feel that the Heaven's will here is communicating with our world. It's always in a state of being one with immortal. You mean, this half-dimension immortal world? Jiang Li had been struggling with this question. Suddenly, he remembered why Little Dharch ascended to the world of immortals so quickly. Why did he receive the favor of the immortal world's heaven's will? Little Dharch was once the disciple of great Emperor Relic, and the master of that relic had created the cultivation world. However, he was curious. Great Emperor Chongqing was the creator of the cultivation world, but Great Emperor Chongqing wasn't the master of his relic. Could it be that the creator of the cultivation world was a great emperor? In the ancient world of immortals, several great emperors took turns presiding over the heavenly court. But not long ago, some of the great emperors disappeared. Did something happen to two of the great emperors of the immortal world, and they came to the third dimension to create the cultivation world? Or perhaps they had fallen into the universe of the third dimension, preparing to be buried here. But before they died, they created a world of cultivation? All of this was a mystery. The cultivation world and humans on Earth were inextricably linked, and the cultivation world and the immortal world were inextricably linked. It was no wonder that there were legends of the immortal world and the heavenly court in ancient times on Earth. It was unknown who passed them down. Heavens, this really is a miniature immortal world. I can't believe there's such a place in the third dimension. A male immortal exclaimed. We must report this discovery to the sect. Who knows, we might be able to find information about the great emperors of the heavenly court. According to our legends, the great emperors who disappeared might have fallen in the astral plane, but they took away the most important token of the immortal world, the Fortune Jade Disc. If anyone can find the Fortune Jade Disc, they can control a portion of the laws of the immortal world and rule over the heavenly court again. The billions of sects in the immortal world will bow at their feet. Fortune Jade Disc? Jiang Li had never heard of it, but from the male immortal's explanation, he knew that it was a very important token of the immortal world. It was very possible that it was like the control of the chief god's optical computer. Whoever had it could use a portion of the power of the immortal world's heaven's will. Of course, they would be high and mighty in the immortal world, able to summon wind and rain. The Fortune Jade Butterfly is a rune born from the immortal world's heaven's will in ancient times. It's also the supreme divine weapon of the heavenly court. The Emperor's seal and Commander's orders all have to be stamped with the Fortune Jade Disc. Otherwise, it has no legal effect at all. The Heavenly Court can't give orders now because this thing disappeared. Now, there's a legend in the immortal world that whoever finds the Fortune Jade Disc will be the son of the immortal world, the ruler of the immortal world. Moreover, they can become the ruler of the myriad worlds. The female immortal explained in detail, not hiding anything from Jiangli. After all, this was a legend, so there was no need to hide it. Moreover, they didn't seem to have the ambition to become the ruler of the immortal world. They knew that they were too weak. Even if they found the Fortune Jade Disc, they wouldn't be able to become the ruler of the immortal world. It was like an ordinary farmer picking up the imperial seal in a chaotic world. He definitely wouldn't become the emperor himself. He'd have to offer it to a powerful faction in exchange for some riches. That was the only way to settle things. Do you think that this world was created by a fallen emperor? Jiangli asked the three immortals. It's very possible. We feel that this small dimension is too similar to the immortal world. The female immortal said, in fact, we feel like fish in water in this world. We're very familiar with many of the rules. From this, we can see that we can find clues about the emperor in this dimension. Then, we might be able to find some information about the Fortune Jade Disc. If that's the case, then it really is possible. But I'm the representative of this world's heaven's will. I can unearth some secrets of the cultivation world. In that case, I'll help you find the Fortune Jade Disc, Jiangli said. But I haven't unified the cultivation world yet because the demons are interfering. Once the cultivation world is unified, all the secrets of the world will be revealed to him. Some ancient information will appear. The demons have also invaded this world. The three immortals were shocked. Looks like they have a big conspiracy that must be eradicated. If the demons find the Fortune Jade Disc, then our world of immortals is finished. That's true. That's why I hope that you can cooperate with me to deal with the demons. I also hope that you can temporarily join us humans. Otherwise, if the demons find out that the experts of the immortal world have come, they'll be on their guard. When that happens, it'll be very difficult for us. Jiangli was guiding them patiently. He wanted to turn the three immortals into experts among humans. He even wanted to slowly change their minds and make them completely part of the human race. The freedom of the human soul and the various theories were indeed the truth. They could attract many people to join, such as Long Yueji and Zi Changyan. They were now part of human civilization. That works too. The humans on the celestial sphere of the myriad realms have many special traits. We can temporarily become one of you. Besides, this world is equivalent to a small immortal realm. It is inextricably linked to the immortal realm. It is equivalent to being part of the immortal realm. I, Yuan Yen, will naturally protect the world against the demons. Slaying demons is the responsibility of the immortal world. That's very good. Jiangli was overjoyed. Chapter 588. The three celestials were all experts of 3 Da. If they really joined the humans, their overall strength would increase by many times. Moreover, they came from the celestial world and had civilization, intelligence, and many refining methods. They could strengthen the human defense and suppress a region. Of course, they could also be a threat to humans. However, Jiangli wasn't afraid. As time passed, he would grow stronger and stronger, and the sovereign god's light, the Queen Mother's AI, and the Grand Emperor's Saraira would gradually fuse together. The destiny of the human race would form a special system that no one would be able to invade. Come, come, everyone, let me show you around. Jiangli brought the 3 celestials into the human city. They were all invisible and wouldn't affect society. The cities that humans had built rose from the ground one after another. They were sturdy, durable, and filled with battleship. Energy interweaved, and schools were filled with the aura of civilization. The economy had completely recovered, and the lives of families were many times better than those on Earth. With each passing day, the average lifespan of humans increased and the population also increased. Furthermore, there were some aboriginals from sects in the cultivation world who joined human schools to study. After confirming that they had learned the laws, rules, and knowledge of the human language, they were tainted with the aura of civilization. Finally, after passing various tests, they could become human citizens. The human government passed an immigration law. As long as one was a human in the cultivation world, one could study and take tests to become a human citizen and enjoy all sorts of benefits. This was something that had never happened before. In the previous cultivation world, as long as you joined a sect, you would be a member of the sect for the rest of your life. Even in death, you couldn't betray the sect. Otherwise, you would become a devil and be hunted down by many sections. This is the human race? During the tour, the three celestials became more and more shocked. They looked at the fate of the entire race. It was pure, strong, and orderly. There wasn't a single bit of chaos. This was the most terrifying thing. Perhaps in their eyes, humans were pitifully weak, but in the faces of the three celestials, there was order. Order was the most terrifying thing. When a race grew larger, order would collapse and turn into chaos. This was the case in Earth's ancient history. There were too many humans and too many empires. A slight disturbance would cause them to collapse. That was the lack of an unchanging order. But now, human order was finally established and growing. Moreover, it seemed like there was no real ruler and didn't need to rely on a ruler to maintain order. This was very different from the celestial world. This chip was similar to a magic treasure and could accept human mental communication. It was very convenient. This was also why most humans were in a meditative state. I will input my cultivation method. My Tao is the most ancient Tao in the immortal world, the primordial spirit Tao. She entered it, and the chip started beeping. The cultivation method of the Great Path that you have entered has already been stored in the database. Therefore, you cannot receive any rewards. What? Yuan Yen hurriedly opened the database and saw thousands of Taos, including her own primordial spirit Tao. There's also the fourth Tao we'll be cultivating, the primordial spirit Tao? My God, we need to accumulate many contribution points and merits for the sect to exchange for the blessing of the sect elders to teach us the cultivation method of the fourth Tao. There's one here? What? There really is a primordial spirit Tao cultivation method. The other two immortals let out waves of exclamations and glanced at each other at the same time. Their eyes were filled with passion. Cultivation of the Tao had to be done step by step and not in general. This was because the Tao was closely related to the condensation of godhood. It was like the condensation of nomological laws into a Tao. If you cultivated the immortal slaying Tao, you had to cultivate 99 special nomological laws. If you cultivated anything else, your vital energy wouldn't be pure. Not only would the immortal slaying Tao not condense, it would also collapse and blow yourself up. Therefore, these three immortals had to cultivate the primordial spirit Tao. Otherwise, their vital energy wouldn't be pure and they would die. But the sect couldn't possibly tell them all the cultivation methods. They had to exchange for them with merit. When Jiangli saw their expressions, he immediately understood. His heart was as clear as snow. I'm sorry, everyone. This is the commonwealth of all humans. I have to abide by it. If you want to obtain the primordial spirit Tao cultivation method, you have to earn merits. He had no other choice. However, our photon supercomputer is working together with the bug race's mother nest. If the mother nest wants to expand, you can kill the great Tao realm powerhouses of the devil race and then sacrifice them to the mother nest. That way you can exchange them for rewards. That simple? The three immortals were moved. They felt that this method was much simpler than the sect's contribution point. That simple? Jiangli nodded. That's great. In the sect, we have to complete countless missions and make connections with the elders. We even have to be hindered by our opponents in the sect before we can learn the primordial spirit Tao. It's so simple here? The three immortals couldn't believe it. Everyone, you've also learned human law and know about intellectual property rights. Your efforts will be rewarded. We humans are absolutely fair, and there are no obstacles. Chapter 589. Everyone, this time I am back. This time, Meng Jiangnan was full of power. Sitting on the throne of the Alliance Lord and looking at all the masters of the cultivation world, he couldn't help but burst into laughter. I've done a lot for the cultivation world, and the most impressive thing I've done is to become the leader of the extraterrestrial devils. As you all know, the extraterrestrial devils are very powerful. I was going to take drastic measures to defeat them, but unfortunately, I was killed by a traitor. Now they have become even worse and invaded our world. We can't do things on our own anymore. We must unite and kill them. Meng Jiangnan, are you telling the truth? The headmaster of the Pure Yang Academy was a little skeptical. I know that your master, Ancestor God Dream, has become a big shot among the otherworldly demons. Now that the entire Dream sect has joined the otherworldly demons, how can we guarantee your innocence? That way I can kill them. Meng Jiangnan said fiercely, these people can't do anything right. They joined the demons from outer space, they deserve to die. If I don't kill them, I am not a human. That's right. Meng Jiangnan has sworn to exterminate the extraterrestrial demons. Among us, he is the one who is most familiar with the extraterrestrial demons. The most important thing is that he used to be the leader of the extraterrestrial demons. His cultivation is unfathomable, and he has fought with Jiang Li several times. Of course, he has the help of a mysterious force, and they want him to be our leader. Jun Songxing said helplessly. But now, he could only speak for Meng Jiangnan. I support Meng Jiangnan, Elephant King said. He had no choice but to support Meng Jiangnan. With the demons behind him, he had to protect him. Jun Songxing, Elephant King, who is the mysterious force behind you? The principal asked. Are you inviting wolves into the house and inviting even stronger demons? No, they are from the immortal world. Elephant King and Jun Songxing quickly said. The immortal world is actually the life universe of the cultivation world. The cultivation world was created by imitating the immortal world. Therefore, the immortal world is definitely a pure world. Think about it, even the immortal world is fighting against the demons from outer space. Don't you think we represent justice? That's true. Dean Chunyang was still worried. They said that the immortal realm supports you. What token do you have? This is the mark of the immortal world. Meng Jiangnan waved his hand, and a stream of purple qi appeared on his palm, which condensed into a rune. Everyone shuddered, and they felt as if the immortal world really appeared in front of them. In fact, this was the mark of the demon world. However, demons were good at enticing people's hearts. They could choose to turn into celestials, or even the celestial world. If these people prayed to the celestial world, their souls would be controlled by the demon world, but they would not know about it. I've already established a connection with the immortal world. I'm their emissary. If you worship the immortal world through me, you'll be able to get a spot there. In other words, once your cultivation reaches a certain level, you'll be able to ascend to the immortal world. In fact, even if you haven't reached the required cultivation level, the world of immortals will send emissaries to welcome you into the world of immortals. I'm a member of the world of immortals now. I can ascend to the world of immortals at any time. What do you think? Meng Jiangnan threw out the bait. What? Ascending to the immortal world? That's impossible. He can really ascend. He has the pure aura of the immortal world, and his cultivation is unfathomable. I can tell that the passage he took to the immortal world is the real one. Right. Looks like the immortal world has really come to our world of cultivation. We can't tolerate it. That's great. The immortal world has taken a liking to us. It's our destiny. Maybe in the future, our entire world can ascend to the immortal world. No wonder. Meng Jiangnan used to be the leader of the demons from beyond the sky. He has done a lot of research on them and accumulated a lot of merit. No wonder the immortal world's heaven will has taken a liking to him. Looks like he's a good choice to be our leader. That's great. Looks like our chance is here. Right. Looks like the demons from beyond the sky have triggered the protection of the immortal world's heaven will. That gives us a lot of opportunities. That's true. There must be great fortune in a great calamity. Everyone was excited to see the will of the immortal world unleashed by Meng Jiangnan. The truth was that they had been deceived by the demons, but with their cultivation bases, they couldn't tell. Only Jiang Li would be able to see everything clearly. Very well. Ladies and gentlemen, our alliance is now set. Next, we'll need the experts from all sects to form a grand spell formation. Once we're done practicing, we'll attack the extraterrestrial fiends. Meng Jiangnan waved his hand and countless talismans appeared. Among the talismans there were many ways to study the formation. These talismans contained the cultivation methods of the formation. Everyone, this is the formation that the people from the immortal world taught me. All of our disciples are included in it. Right now, the number of demons from beyond the sky is 1 trillion, and we have 10 times the number of disciples who can fight. Let's practice a bit and practice the formation. Then, we'll pray to the immortal world. The people from the immortal world will be able to sense it, and they'll use their skills to enhance our strength. Meng Jiangnan started his plan. His formation was from the demon world. The demon world and the immortal world had fought countless times, so they knew everything about the immortal world. His formation was very tempting. If a sect used this formation and prayed to the immortal world, they would indeed be able to gain the overall blessing. In this way, everyone in the sect would be possessed by the demon world's devil will. Although their cultivation bases would not increase, they would also be demonized. Unknowingly, they would become the loyal dogs of the demon world. Of course, the demon world would give them some benefits at the beginning. Once they had a taste, they would be unable to stop. These formations are so exquisite. The Pure Yang Courtyard Lord looked at the cultivation methods of those great arrays and couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Sure enough, they were all kinds of exquisite method. That was a great array from the demon realm. Naturally, it was much more brilliant than the various cultivation methods of the cultivation world. Humph! A bunch of fools. This is the demon world's bewitching formation. It can even tempt immortals, let alone you lot. Once you cultivate this formation, you'll be bewitched and begin to gain boundless power. But then, your souls will be handed over to the devils. When the time comes, you'll be devoured by the devils. I'll be sacrificing all of you to obtain countless divine abilities. When the time comes, I'll kill Jiang Li and devour the heaven's will. I'll become the heaven's will of the cultivation world. Meng Jiangnan laughed inwardly. You can study the Pure Yang sect first. After that, you'll practice. The people from your sect have already arrived at the foot of the sky-piercing peak. What do you think? All right. The dean of the Pure Yang sect smiled. Everyone, let's go take a look. Let's see how effective our sect's training formation is. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. All of the experts flew up and landed at the foot of the sky-piercing peak. There was a grassland at the foot of the peak, and a city had already appeared. Roar. There were at least 1 million students in the city, all of them chanting loudly. At this point, a few experts from the institute flew up to greet the dean of the Sage Institute. This is the cultivation method for a grand formation. Pick 300,000 students and have them practice a minor spell formation. What do you think? The abbot passed down the cultivation method, and soon everyone began to cultivate. There were 300,000 students, all of whom were praying, cultivating, and communicating spiritually according to the method of the formation. Moments later, rumble. The will of the students in the formation seemed to be communicating with a mysterious world, the world of immortals. However, in the immortal world there were strange and dazzling lights. Countless auras descended, blessing each and every student. What? The dean's eyes flickered with astonishment. These students seem to have made significant progress in their cultivation bases. Their psychic power and life force are both soaring. What kind of prayer is this? How could it be possible for them to reach such a level? It doesn't seem like they're doing anything at all. Sacrifice is an equivalent exchange, Meng Jiangnan said with a seductive smile. Meng Jiangnan laughed, his voice full of temptation. And now they're activating the grand formation, praying devoutly, and communicating with the immortal world. The immortal world is rewarding them. This time, we've seized the opportunity. The mighty immortals of the immortal world really want the myriad realms' celestial sphere, so they're willing to pay any price in order to destroy the extraterrestrial demons and obtain the myriad realms' celestial sphere. So we've all profited this time. Amazing! All the sects were laughing. As expected, the students of the Pure Yang Institute are advancing. 300,000 disciples, and their strength has almost doubled. As expected, the students were all trembling and wriggling, their faces filled with happiness. Their life force was rising steadily, and not only that, but their realms were also rising. Their psychic power was rising even more. Vortexes formed in each of their bodies, constantly changing. Some of the experts even broke through to the embryonic breathing realm. Rumble! All of a sudden, they all wriggled and spewed out huge bursts of energy, landing on the mountains, rivers, and land in the distance. The mountains, rivers, and land instantly collapsed, forming deep pits. Then, they gradually recovered, but they turned into a patch of purple. A remarkable power that can change the heavens and the earth? This time, everyone was stunned. They had never expected the grand formation to be so powerful. Of course, this grand formation is not their own power, but a channel that they opened. They prayed devoutly to the immortal world, and the immortal world communicated with their bodies. They were just a medium, and it was the power of the immortal world that caused the mountains, rivers, and land to be rebuilt. Meng Jiangnan was also shocked. This is the power of the devil world. It's really invincible. It can actually hide from the cultivation world's heaven's will and descend its power. I know, the devil world used the souls of these aborigines to conceal their aura. The devil world used the bodies of these people to descend its power, so it could completely hide from the cultivation world's heaven's will. Chapter 590. In the Depths of Infinity Star. Jiangli, Dream Kite, Hua Lu Dao, Dahe, Hong Heiyu, Ancestor God Dream, Zi Changye, Zi Piao, and Long Yueji were gathered together. This was the central power of humanity, and the strongest lineup of the limitless group. Dahe, Hong Heiyu, Zi Piao, and Dream Kite had all become supreme saints in the battle that day. Their cultivation was even more profound now. Of course, apart from the 9 saints, there were also Yuan Yen, Yuan Hua, and Yuan Meng. These 3 are from the celestial world. They've joined our human camp. Jiang Li introduced. We now know that behind Jun Songxing and the other sects is the power of the demon world. They want to chase us humans out of the cultivation world, and at the same time, threaten the safety of the entire world. We can't tolerate this. 3 from the celestial world? Hua Lu Dao and the others looked at each other. They were very shocked, but they maintained their calm. Since Jiang Li had roped in these 3, then they would definitely be firmly in the hands of humans. The Qingqiu foxes won't ally with them. We're waiting for them to come for a meeting, Dream Kite said calmly. When they ally, war will probably start. This time, we humans are fighting passively, and we're in the right, so we won't be criticized. Because we represent the order of justice in the universe, and the demons represent evil. We haven't violated the profound meaning of our camp. Originally, humans attacking the natives of the cultivation world was against morality. After all, humans were borrowing the path. Living in the cultivation world was just a temporary residence. If they destroyed the natives, it would be an invasion, and there would be some karma entanglement. In the future, their fate would be tainted by the sin of killing. But now, the demons had invaded, and these people had sided with them. This was not tolerated by heaven and earth, nor by the camp. Moreover, they were the first to attack. Humans fighting back wasn't immoral at all. A passageway opened up before a gorgeous and charming woman walked out. It was Qingqiu, and by her side were 3 gloomy young men and a petite girl. The 3 young men with cold expressions were all saints, and they emitted a wild and violent aura. On the other hand, the girl cheered excitedly. She gave off a feeling of spring sunshine. She was actually a saint as well. Allow me to introduce them. These 3 are the leaders of the wolf tribe, Saint Hungry Wolf, Saint Vicious Wolf, and Saint Dire Wolf. They're all my subordinates. This is the leader of the bird tribe, the 100-spirit saint. She's also my subordinate. There was no smile on Qingqiu's face. After the introduction, he threw out a heavy sentence. You humans are facing imminent disaster, do you know that? What disaster? Dream Kite countered with a question. Right now, Meng Jiangnan has become the leader of the alliance. Almost all the sects in the cultivation world have joined forces to deal with you humans. Apart from that, some hidden experts have also appeared. That's nothing. Meng Jiangnan received guidance from the immortal world and became its representative. He obtained some great formations from the immortal world, and now, countless sects are practicing them. With just a bit of practice, the formations will receive the blessing of the immortal world, greatly increasing their strength. First, the disciples of the Pure Yang Academy almost doubled in strength. Now, it's the immortal world that wants to exterminate you humans, Qingqiu said. That's right. We came this time to see what countermeasures you have. The 3 leaders of the wolf tribe said, although you humans are powerful, we still have to protect our own tribe. Moreover, we can't fight against the immortal world. Otherwise, when the experts of the immortal world descend, we'll all die. What did you say? The immortal world supports those natives? Yuan Yen almost laughed. You are? Only now did Qingqiu notice Yuan Yen and the other 2. He could tell that their cultivation bases had been completely overturned, and that they were actually supreme experts of 3 great Daos. We're from the immortal world, Yuan Meng roared. We're disciples of the origin school. There's no way we don't know about the will of the immortal world. Don't tell me the demon world lied to them? Plus, the immortal world has always followed an equivalent exchange. There's no way we'll be able to obtain endless power just by praying. This is a trick of the demon world. First, the demon world pretends to be the immortal world, then tempts the living beings into praying. Then, they get addicted, and have no choice but to hand over their souls and flesh to the demon world, which then absorbs them and transforms them into pure devil Yuan. That's right, Yuan Hua said. This is definitely the work of the devil world. We've been at war with the devil world for so many years that we're very familiar with each other. Jiangli, can you show us where the sects are gathered? Of course. Jiangli made a grasping motion, and the cultivation world appeared in front of him. It looked like a chicken egg that floated in the middle of space. Originally, it had been roughly the size of 3 solar systems, but now it was growing larger and larger. It was now close to the size of 4 solar systems. It was a sign that the world was expanding, and that Heavenly Will's cultivation base was rising as well. It was a 3-dimensional map. The map expanded until it reached the center of the cultivation world. It was the huge Tongtian Peak. There were sects everywhere on the prairie below the Tongtian Peak. The experts of the sects were all gathered there, practicing all kinds of formations. Chapter 591. Yuan Yen, Yuan Hua, and Yuan Meng sat cross-legged in the air, activating their respective soul fires. With a flick of their tongues, a mirror appeared in front of them. This was a connection to the world of immortals, a mirror used to monitor the universe. Their special magic allowed them to connect to the immortal world's heavenly will, allowing them to observe the myriad worlds through a certain angle of view. From what Jiang Li could see, this was essentially a large-scale search system. They used their soul fires to connect to the network formed by the heavenly will of the immortal world, allowing them to observe the entire universe. It was the same as humans using the internet to search for all sorts of knowledge. The immortal world's heavenly will was essentially a giant photonic computer. Its search engine was trillions of times more powerful than humanity's photonic computer, infinity, or even the relic of a grand emperor. That was why the three immortals were working together to find the location of the demon's altar. After all, it was based on the perspective of the immortal world's heavenly will. However, the mirror wasn't very clear, and there was no way to see what was happening inside. "Hurry up and activate your soul fires," Yuan Yen said. "We're using the perspective of the immortal world's heavenly will, so we need the power of our soul fires. You're not from the world of immortals, so you can't activate the heavenly will search. However, you can use our auras to activate it." "It doesn't matter." Jiang Li immediately activated his soul flame and threw it into the formation of the three of them. Rumble! Jiang Li's soul fire was several times stronger than the three immortals combined. With a slight movement, the mirror became very clear, displaying all sorts of information and images. Sure enough, as the search continued, the image froze and a cosmic storm appeared. In the depths of the cosmic storm, there was an altar with many devils inside, their powerful bodies swaying. The altar of the demon plane is really in the depths of the cosmic storm. Looks like my guess was right. However, I do have the exact coordinate. Still, my soul flame is not strong enough. I am still unable to determine the specific cultivation bases of those demons. All I know is the location of the altar. Forget it. I'll go check it out first. Jiang Li confirmed the location and slowly retracted the soul fire into his body. "The three of you, I will now go to the source of the storm and take care of the sacrificial altar in the demon realm. The three of you will stand guard here and prevent the evil spirits from invading. With the three of you, the human race will be very stable. Don't worry, as long as you can make contributions in this calamity, our human system will faithfully record your contributions. When the time comes, you will be able to exchange for the cultivation method of the primordial soul Tao." As expected. Yuan Yen checked her chip and found that there were a lot of points on it. Those were the contribution points of human society. This was because she had just helped the humans find information about the devil race. "Let's also go to the demon race's sacrificial altar and kill more demons," she immediately expressed. "Us celestials are the nemesis of the demon race." "That won't be necessary. The three of you will stand guard here. I will go alone, because too many people will only make things worse. Also, it is very dangerous over there. Only I can handle it." The hidden meaning behind Jiang Li's words was that although the three celestials were powerful, they would still be a burden if they went with him to the demon race's sacrificial altar. The three celestials understood, but they did not get angry. Instead, they frowned and thought for a while. "Indeed, it is very dangerous over there. It is better for us to stand guard here." The three celestials were all battle-hardened and knew how to survive in the universe. They would definitely not let themselves meet with a mishap just because of a trivial matter. After having a long life, no one was willing to die. At that moment, many of them decided on a plan. Jiang Li's body moved and disappeared. He left the cultivation world and headed deep into the universe. He found the cosmic storm zone in the vast starry sky, and then went to find the demon race's sacrificial altar. He had followed Elephant King and Jun Songxing before, so he was familiar with the path. Soon, he came to the cosmic storm zone. With a whoosh, he went deep into it. The violent storm even shattered space-time. Cultivators at the Great Tao realm did not dare to go deep into it. However, his current cultivation was equivalent to an expert at the Great Tao realm. He had even comprehended the 12th move of the Infinite Divine Fist, Infinite Nirvana. He was about to condense the two great nomological laws of oblivion and fate. They were indescribably strong. His body twisted slightly, and he silently entered the storm. His body flashed, and he opened a wormhole. He moved forward at a speed of 1 light-year with each step. This cosmic storm was very huge. There were no planets or meteorite belt. It was completely the violent flow of the cosmic storm. The violent flow was the power of space shattering and then combining before being destroyed. It was equivalent to the self-destruction of a saint at every moment. It was no wonder that ordinary Great Tao realm experts could not withstand it. The universe was huge, and there were all kinds of strange things. Although saints were strong in front of the third dimension universe, they were still as insignificant as a drop in the ocean. There is demonic chi in front. This demonic will was virtually unbreakable, comparable to the defenses of the sovereign ship's AI. There was no way to break through it. Do I have to attack it? But I don't know how many experts there are. What if someone strong appears? Won't I die? Jiang Li wasn't afraid of death, but he was afraid that if he died, humanity would go extinct. Without his suppression, they would fall into chaos again. As he was thinking, he saw a person walk out of the storm. This person was wearing a blood-colored robe. It was Blood Devil Xuejing. After he appeared, he let out a blood-colored light, as if calling out to the expert in the flying saucer. Rumble! The flying saucer shook, and a devil expert appeared. This was the same one Jiang Li had seen with Jun Songxing and Elephant King. He had 4 great Daos, and if it was a one-on-one fight, Jiang Li could kill him with a single punch. But he was just an emissary. There were even stronger experts in the depths of the flying saucer. Powerful existence from the blood world, why have you come to our devil race's base? The devil race's emissary asked. Esteemed Devil King, I'm here to ally with you. Our blood world wants to ally with the devil world to fight for the myriad world's celestial sphere, said Blood Devil Xuejing. There's only one myriad world's celestial sphere, and it can't be divided evenly. In the future, there can only be one ruler. Although the blood world and the devil race are both evil, we're evil and orderly. You're evil and chaotic. I don't want to work with you. The devil race was orderly and strict. They were an orderly race, while the blood world was chaotic. They devoured each other and lived in constant danger. Don't tell me you don't even want the Good Fortune Jade Disc? Blood Devil Xuejing cackled. The Good Fortune Jade Disc? You're saying that the Good Fortune Jade Disc is the supreme divine item that went missing in the immortal world? The token of the heavenly court? The token to issue commands and unify the myriad worlds? The emissary trembled. What? Blood Devil Xuejing knows about the Good Fortune Jade Disc? Jiang Li was flabbergasted. That's right, said Blood Devil Xuejing. The clue to the Good Fortune Jade Disc is in one place. Don't you want to go look for it? If you work with me, we'll have a chance. Powerful existence from the blood world, said Blood Devil Xuejing. We've already found the clue to the Good Fortune Jade Disc, so we won't be working with you. Hurry up and leave. You've come here to spy on our secret. A powerful existence appeared on the flying saucer, his voice even more domineering than Blood Devil Xuejing's. Did you find a place called the cultivation world? That place is similar to the immortal world. I think it was created by the Grand Emperor of the immortal world before he died. Blood Devil Shuejing laughed. But let me tell you, the good fortune jade plate isn't in that place. It's in a very powerful star field called the Immortal Tower. Chapter 592. What did you say? A powerful being from the demon race appeared. It was a shadow. This shadow was very faint, and it seemed to be a middle-aged man. He looked very dignified, and there were many lights and runes above his head. It seemed to be suppressing his aura to prevent it from being rejected by the laws of the third dimension universe. Another expert with 5 great daos, but he doesn't seem to be as relaxed as Shuejing. Jiang Li observed in the dark. He suddenly felt that it was a good thing that his cultivation level was low. However, he heard an important piece of news. There was actually news of the good fortune jade disk in the Immortal Tower's star domain where Baliming was located? If that was the case, then it would explain why martial ancestor Baliming had appeared there. I am Shuejing. May I know your name? Shuejing asked. Mo Ishiong. The middle-aged man said, You just said that the jade plate of good fortune might be in the Immortal Tower. Is that true? The Immortal Tower is one of the 2 most mysterious places in the third dimension universe. The other place is the brain of the universe star field. These 2 places represent the core mystery of the third dimension universe. Our demon race has also tried to barge into them, but we were all annihilated. How do I know if you are lying to me? I'm definitely not lying to you. This is the top secret of the universe, but I've studied it carefully. Do you know how many outstanding people there are among the humans on Earth? They killed so many people that the angels had a headache. They found clues about the jade plate of good fortune, so one of them went to the Immortal Tower, while the other went to the brain of the universe. You demons control most of the natives in the cultivation world. You should have gotten a lot of information, right? That's right. We know that there are 2 powerful people among the humans on Earth. One is called Wang Chao and the other is called Ba Liming. These 2 people are very fierce and have the power of gods. That's why we're plotting in secret to lure out these 2 people. Mo Ishiong smiled. There's a powerful leader among them called Jiang Li. He's just a saint, but his cultivation is already on par with mine. He's extremely terrifying. I'm afraid he'll become someone like Wang Chao and Ba Liming in the future. So, we have to get rid of him now. What do you think? Blood Demon Shuejing said. Other than that, there is also a person called Jiang Nalin among the humans. I know that he is colluding with your devil world, but he is also involved with the angel race. More importantly, he is from the martial world. It is very likely that you will fall into his trap. Killing this small fry is as easy as flipping our palms. Mo Ishiong laughed heartily. Shuejing, I won't work with you. That Jiang Li has a few tricks up his sleeve. He's a genius, and I'd like to recruit him into the devil folk. Give him an identity, and he'll be an expert in dealing with the immortal world. Not working with us, Shuejing said. Then I'll have to work with the humans. They should be very willing. Also, let me tell you, the people from the devil folk are already here, and they're working with the humans. You can't hide the fact that you're using the devil folk formation to lure the natives of the cultivation world. You won't be able to hide it from the humans, and from the immortals. Those immortals will definitely contact the celestials, and you'll end up in a passive position. Only by working with me can I help you. Think about it, if you refuse me, not only will you lose a friend, but you'll also gain an enemy. The gains don't make up for the losses. How do you want to work with us? Mo Ishiong frowned. He didn't think the people from the blood world were easy to deal with. They were all demons, and they were even crueler than the devil world. Even though the blood world wasn't as big as the devil world, the blood demons there had no bottom line. They were difficult to deal with. For example, they wouldn't work with the people from the Celestials. But the demons of the blood world were different. They could work with anyone. It's simple. We'll work together and quickly destroy the humans. Especially that Jiangli. He has godhood, a virtual godhood, and the mother nest of the bug race. We'll split it evenly. How about it? Xue Jing smiled mysteriously. Jiangli caught the two's divine will to negotiate. He was a little worried. If the two of them worked together, not only would he fail to destroy the devil altar, he might even meet with a mishap. If it was just one of them, he would be able to fight evenly. But if the two of them worked together, he would definitely not be a match for them. Moreover, there were many experts in the devil world base. Who knows, there might even be experts like Mo Xiong. If that was the case, he wouldn't even be able to escape. Other than that, there might be experts from the blood world. Everything wasn't as simple as it seemed. Do we move now? Mo Xiong hesitated for a moment before saying, however, according to our plan, very soon, the natives of the cultivation world will turn into devils. In the end, our devil realm's power will go through their channels and corrode the cultivation world's heaven's will. At that time, the entire cultivation world will become a small devil realm that we can use. The entire world will devour the humans, and Jiangli will not be able to escape this calamity. Everything is in order, and everything is going according to our plan. What can you do to help? That's not for sure. The people from the celestial world have come. If they know about your plan, they'll destroy it immediately. Then that Jiangli will definitely find the altar and destroy it. The people from the celestial world will use this method to deal with you. Maybe Jiangli has already arrived and is ready to destroy your altar. Xue Jing smiled brightly. Hearing this, Jiangli's heart tightened. This blood devil Xue Jing was too amazing. He could guess everything perfectly. He was simply a scheming and far-sighted school of vertical and horizontal. I know how strong he is. As long as he comes, I can suppress him. That saves me the trouble of searching for him in the cultivation world. Mo Xiong looked around. His powerful devil sense spread out in the storm. Even the tiniest speck of dust couldn't escape his mental scan. However, he didn't detect Jiangli. At this time, Jiangli's body flickered. His infinite true meaning fused with the void. He was like a dream, not in the real world. All of a sudden, he seemed to comprehend the 13th move of the infinite godly fist. That was the transformation related to dreams. If he truly comprehended this move, he could fuse the various transformations of the great emperor's dream imprint into his infinite godly fist. This would allow his martial arts to reach a deeper level. This was a sign that he was evolving under great pressure. Jiangli isn't here. I just used my devil eye to scan. Nothing can escape my devil eye. Mo Xiong said proudly. How about this, since we're working together, you can lure Jiangli out of the cultivation world, and we can kill him together. No problem. Blood devil Xue Jing signaled to Mo Xiong with his eyes. Suddenly, he pounced towards the place where Jiangli was hiding. Suddenly, he opened his mouth and spat out a blood-red light. It seemed to be a blood relic, and it illuminated the entire storm red. With the blood relic as the center, the storm was actually suppressed and stopped. Following that, within the blood-colored light, Jiangli's concealment state was completely destroyed. Crackle, crackle! Jiangli's figure was revealed in the storm. At this time, Mo Xiong laughed coldly. He seemed to have activated the flying saucer of the devil race. A green light shot out from it, sealing the storm where Jiangli was. I've been discovered? Only now did Jiangli understand that the conversation between these two devils was just an act. They wanted him to lower his guard before suddenly attacking and trapping him. However, the moment he was forced to reveal himself, he didn't feel any fear. Instead, his heart calmed down. He didn't care about life and death. Everyone, you guys are discussing a plot against us humans. Since I'm here, Let's stop for a while. Jiang Li said calmly. As expected, it's you, the current leader of humanity, Jiang Li. Mo Xiong said, I didn't expect you to be so young. Looking at the lifespan shown on your soul fire, it seems like you're only 25,000 world years. In the 10,000 worlds, the true calculation of time was the 10,000 world years. And the 10,000 world years were actually Earth years. Because Earth was a special existence, it was the 10,000 world sphere. The time it rotated could represent the total time in the universe. Jiang Li was only around 25 years old. Mo Xiong and Xuejing had thousands of years of lifespan, maybe even longer. For Jiang Li to be able to cultivate to this level at a mere 25 years old, it was a miracle among miracles. Jiang Li, we meet again. You saved those 3 immortals and have now joined you humans, right? Xuejing's body shook and turned into many shadows, blocking Jiang Li's path. You came today to destroy the altar? Mo Xiong raised his head and asked, You've got guts to come here alone. Don't you know you're in a desperate situation? Actually, we felt it the moment you entered the space storm. Our flying saucer is called the Heaven-Defying Battleship. It's the crystallization of our demon race's technology. I know that you humans also have technology, but it's too common. Humans' technology is nothing more than taking advantage of the angel race's technology. It can't compare to our demon race's technology. Let's cut the crap. Let's do it. Jiang Li got into a fighting stance. No rush, no rush. Blood Devil and Xuejing said, Jiang Li, you are a talent, the best talent. We can't bear to kill you, especially at a time like this. The myriad realms are in turmoil, and experts are descending. Every realm needs to recruit more talent. If you sincerely pledge your allegiance to us, we can definitely nurture you into the strongest. If you join us, I'll report to my superiors. My superior, the Demon God King, will give you the status of Demon King. You'll be on equal footing with me. You might even be taken in as a disciple by the Demon God King. Mo Xiong said. You guys talk too much. Jiang Li let out a long sigh. I've risked my life for the sake of humanity, fighting to the bitter end. That's why we have today's situation. One by one, your races have always come to destroy our peace. I was born for the sake of battle. My existence is to fight non-stop, to fight for the sake of the entire race and humanity. No matter how cruel you all are, I'm not afraid. He took a step forward and unleashed his fist technique. The 12 moves of the infinite divine fist were displayed consecutively. When it came to the last move, the infinite nirvana, his fist technique had already formed a huge force field. The force field was filled with the infinite fire formed by the infinite nirvana of the infinite true chi. His entire person seemed to have turned into the dimension of fire and descended here. Chapter 593. Rumble. Countless changes occurred in the heaven and earth. Jiang Li's fists actually attacked Mo Xiong and Xuejing at the same time. His indomitable aura had long disregarded life and death. Life and death were like a dream. How many autumns would a dream last? Although the 2 devils in front of him were extremely powerful, he couldn't retreat now. His original purpose of coming here was to destroy the devil race's sacrificial altar. Since it was being developed, he might as well fight. His strength was enough to uproot mountains and rivers. Courting death, Mo Xiong's body soared into the air. His fist swayed, and instantly, the air was filled with the wails of ghosts and gods. 10,000 devils devour immortal. A gigantic bloody mouth appeared in his fists, containing the might to devour the entire immortal world. As for Blood Devil and Xuejing, they flicked their hands and many blood-colored threads shot out from them. They interweaved into a dense net that wrapped around Jiang Li's body. With the 2 devils joining hands, Jiang Li's attack was dispelled in an instant. Infinite Devour. Jiang Li expanded the might of his fists, doing his best to devour the injuries from the two experts, converting them into his own energy. His soul fire flickered unceasingly as he unleashed the profundities of the infinite godly fist. His body dashed left and right, sometimes south, sometimes north, sometimes east, sometimes west. Tao of devouring? Competing with our devil world in devouring? You're simply seeking your own humiliation. Mo Yixiong's fist vibrated, twisting and turning. Suddenly, a devil pounced forward and bit down on Qin Wentian. The two fists collided, but unexpectedly, there wasn't the slightest shockwave. Instead, there was only a dull thud, as though they had struck each other. Both of them had absorbed the other's attack. Jiang Li only felt an incomparably heavy pressure on his chest, as though he had inhaled poisonous gas. The evil devilish will had invaded his body, and in the blink of an eye, it was even starting to invade the depths of his soul fire. His soul fire was originally pure, but now it was tainted with a layer of black devilish qi, and was about to be extinguished at any time. He took in a deep breath, and instantly, the profundities of different dimensions opened up around him. Boundless energy poured down, burning around his body. It was the infinite nirvana technique again. After his nirvana, his body was as good as new, and the invading demonic will was completely burned and disintegrated. At this moment, Blood Devil Shui Jing's blood-colored threads had already wrapped around him. However, after undergoing nirvana, his cultivation base was even stronger than before. With a single punch, a knife hand slashed through the air. Whoosh! All the blood-colored threads were cut open. He let out a long roar and purple flames appeared in his eyes. Two great paths actually appeared in his eyes. Wherever his gaze landed, time and space would be sliced into countless fragments. It was as if an ancient god had completely torn it apart, and it was also as if doomsday had arrived. You actually refined the immortal slaying great Tao and immortal ending great Tao into your eyes and started to fuse them with your body? Could it be that you want to refine your body into a special magical weapon in the future? Blood Devil Shuijing had never expected that in just a few days, Jiang Li's cultivation base would reach such a level. It was simply incomparable to back then. Actually, Jiang Li's cultivation base was very low, and there was still a lot of room for improvement. Moreover, as the human race prospered, the karmic luck connected to the Grand Emperor's relic, and the relic's power was gradually recovering. With the help of this godhood, his comprehension of martial arts profundities naturally improved by leaps and bounds. And most importantly, he had yet to cultivate the law of indifference and the law of fate. This was a critical point. Once he succeeded, his cultivation base would increase by a lot. Kill. Mo Yixiong devoured Jiang Li's fist force, but he discovered that it was as hard as a boulder, and he couldn't absorb it at all. He could only shake it out of his body, and then a demonic cloud surged out from his body. The demonic cloud billowed, and his divine will shot up into the sky, as though the prayers of numerous devils and devils were blessing him. His psyche was like a destructive force that could collapse the sky, and he once again attacked Jiang Li. In my name, I summon the mighty will of slaughter from the devil world, slay immortals. A saber light appeared in Mo Yixiong's hand, and with a slight slash, the two worlds were split apart. The saber light flickered, piercing through heaven and earth, connecting to the distant future. Combined with his movement technique and demonic cloud billowing, he was like an unparalleled devil god that could destroy the entire universe. Bang, 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 the saber light fell like raindrops, slashing at the energy field around Jiang Li. With just one strike, Jiang Li's defenses were shattered, and his naked body was revealed. Blood kill seizing life. Seeing an opening, Blood Devil Shuijing's body transformed into a beam of blood-colored sword light. He transformed his body into a curved sword, and the blade was filled with saw teeth. In an instant, it coiled around Jiang Li's body. If he was struck, Jiang Li's body would definitely transform into countless amounts of blood and be absorbed by him. Jiang Li's body flashed repeatedly, dodging the attack. However, Mo Yixiong let out another roar and attacked again. This time, his attack was even more ferocious. Both his fists pressed together, and the demonic cloud around his body actually rang out with demonic thunder. It was as though millions of war drums were beating at the same time, and it was as though an army of devils was surging towards Jiang Li. With him as the center, densely packed divine lightning descended from the sky. These divine lightning were filled with devil qi, and the power of resentment shook the three worlds. It was as though countless people who had been wronged were crying and complaining. Resentment lightning. He formed seals with his hands, and with a move, the wind and clouds rose. The second move, thunderclap. The third move, towering resentment. The fourth move, the wrath of heaven. The fifth move, the arrival of devil lightning. Mo Yixiong's lightning technique was purely the devil lightning of the devil world. It was definitely different from ordinary divine lightning. It was the lightning of darkness. A terrifying attack that could cause one to sink forever, unable to reincarnate for 10,000 lifetimes. He stood high up in the sky, stepping on the demonic cloud. Behind him, streams of resentment transformed into many arms. It was as though the hands of those who had been wronged had reached out from the depths of hell, wanting to drag people down with them. Such an attack is truly terrifying. With one look, Jiang Li knew that he could not defend against such an attack, nor could he escape. The only way was to fight with his life on the line, seeking a chance of survival amidst the cruel slaughter. His hands formed all sorts of complicated seals. It was as though he was praying, as though he was offering sacrifices, and also as though he was commanding the people. His soul fire instantly expanded to twice its original size. He opened his hands, and his eyes pierced out with the power to slay immortals and extinguish immortals. He circulated his entire body, and the infinite divine fist once again increased in strength. You want to focus your mind to resist? Dream on. When Blood Devil Xuejing saw Jiang Li's appearance, he knew that Mo Yixiong's attack was a threat to him. He had to focus all his strength to resist, and this was the best opportunity for Blood Devil Xuejing to attack. Whoosh! Blood Devil Xuejing's body transformed into a blood-colored needle, and with a flash, it ruthlessly pierced into Jiang Li's body. This blood-colored needle was different from his previous attacks. It was the condensation of his entire body's strength, focusing it at a single point. It was a sure-kill attack. Blood Devil Incarnation, Heavenly Origin Strike. This attack of his was called the Heavenly Origin Strike. All his energy, soul fire, and mental power were concentrated at a single point. With a sudden thrust, even those with a higher cultivation base than him would find it hard to resist. Kacha, kacha! The blood-colored needle pierced into Jiang Li's body. Momentarily, Jiang Li's expression changed, and his body started to explode. Fresh blood flowed out from his body. At this moment, Mo Yixiong's attack also descended. His attack was immensely powerful, the complete opposite of Blood Devil Xuejing's attack. With the two attacks combined, Jiang Li was instantly engulfed by the thunder fire. Under this attack, Jiang Li turned into ashes, no traces of his existence could be found anymore. It was as though he had truly been killed. At this moment, Jiang Li entered a state of death once again. His soul fire was scattered, but he didn't die. The danger this time was even greater than before. But his cultivation base was much higher than before, and he was on the brink of death. Very good. The infinite godly fist's most profound profundities are combined with the Grand Emperor's seal's dream. With that, I will be able to comprehend the 13th move of the infinite godly fist. Jiang Li was used to comprehending martial arts under immense pressure. All of a sudden, his soul fire gathered once more, and this time, it was even stronger than before. It absorbed Blood Devil Shui Jing and Mo Yixiong's attacks. Infinite Godly Fist's 13th move, Infinite Dream. Jiang Li had finally comprehended the 13th move, fusing the Infinite Dream imprint's quintessence into the Infinite Godly Fist. This was a moment of historical significance. It was definitely different from the various moves of the Infinite Godly Fist in the past. That was because Jiang Li had started cultivating the Grand Emperor's seal. After walking on his own path, he had comprehended the infinite transformations and had yet to reach grand completion. But now, he had comprehended the 13th move. It could be said that he had completely comprehended the true core of the Grand Emperor's seal. Life has always been endless. Endless dreams. Whether it exists or not, it's meaningless. Jiang Li's soul fire flickered. His body was intact, and in the face of the violent attacks, he was like a reef. No matter how much the wind and waves crashed against him, he didn't budge at all. Countless halos and runes appeared above his head, forming one dreamscape after another. These dreamscapes fused together, and with an intense tremor, they transformed into reality. At this time, Blood Devil Shui Jing and Mo Yixiong's attacks were all channeled into his body, transforming the dreamscape into reality. Heaven and earth transformed, the sun and moon rotated, and space and time mourned. Within Jiang Li's infinite matrix, the laws of oblivion and the laws of fate were being strengthened by the attack. The infinite matrix has taken form. 4 laws: truth, fate, emotion, and fate. Establish my infinite Tao, seize the workings of the myriad worlds, and steal the profundities of the void. Many thanks. Cracking sounds could be heard from within Jiang Li's body, like the sound of water freezing. That was the sound of magical runes condensing into laws. The tempest around him had stopped. With him at the center, all of the tempest energy in the surrounding light years had been sucked dry. At this moment, the power of the laws inside Jiang Li's body was equivalent to swallowing dozens of suns. The energy inside him was wriggling, transforming, and finally condensing into a hazy mist. This was the transformation of infinite true qi, a poetic, primal power. In this moment, he had completely cultivated the 4 laws. Jiang Li's soul fire had turned golden, like a zenith golden immortal from the immortal world. He was a god. Chapter 594. Jiang Li's soul fire had always been special for a few reasons. First, he was a human from Earth and had been affected by the celestial sphere of the myriad worlds, so his soul was very special. Second, he had godhood, which he had refined day and night and had been tainted with divinity. Third, he had created his own great Tao and evolved various laws, opening a desolate path in the darkness of chaos. His will was unimaginably firm. Due to these various reasons, the soul fire evolved from his spirit was extremely vigorous, and it also contained a special nature. Now, under the pressure, he had advanced once again. He had successfully cultivated the laws of emotion and fate. The boundless matrix had completed its framework, and it was as solid as a boulder. This was like building a 30,000-meter tall building. He had finally built a solid foundation. From now on, there would be no disturbances that could destroy the building. The boundless Grand Tao had stabilized. Truth, fate, emotion, fate. These 4 frames formed the foundation of the boundless matrix. Truth was the truth of cultivation, the truth of reality. Life was the fate of life, the fate of fate. Emotion was the emotion of emotion, but also the emotionless emotion. Fate was the fate of fate, the fate of karma. Truth was the material. Life was the energy that controlled the material. Emotion was the feeling that made the material meaningful. Fate was the line that made the material interact with each other. With all the foundations gathered, Jiang Li's body was as stable as the myriad worlds' celestial sphere. In a trance, he comprehended more profundities of the myriad worlds' celestial sphere. These things gathered together to form Jiang Li's current body. His aura covered the sky, and he could control the cosmos with one hand. In a breath, he could devour the sun and moon, grab 1,000 stars, and slay heavenly gods. A puff of white smoke shot out, and Mo Ishiong was sent flying. What is this? It can blow me away with a puff of air? Mo Ishiong could not believe his own eyes. Just now, he had unleashed his divine might and was about to kill Zhongli, but he did not expect Zhongli to be able to escape from death's door and suddenly comprehend a killer move, absorbing all of their attacks and even cultivating an absolute art. His aura was like a surging river, like heaven and earth were being split apart, like a world was being formed. His opponent's puff of air was unstoppable. What kind of attack was it? Mo Ishiong had no idea. He was about to go crazy. On the other hand, Blood Devil Xuejing was much calmer. He formed back into a blood shadow and dodged Jiang Li's attack. Jiang Li, you really do have the ability to come back from the brink of death, he said. I can't believe you broke through at a time like this. You're using our ultimate attacks to temper yourself. But do you really think you can fight against both the Devil World and the Blood World on your own? The two of you can represent two worlds. Jiang Li smiled and said, even the god behind you can't represent the will of the entire world. The power you can use is only this little. I can totally kill you. You're too arrogant. Mo Ishiong's expression changed. I admit that you have some power, but if you want to kill us, that's a fool's dream. Do you think you've completely escaped danger? You're actually joking. You still don't know the true power of our demon world. As he spoke, Mo Ishiong waved his hand again, and a ball of green light rose up from the Devil World flying saucer, condensing into a jade-green color. The entire place was filled with phosphorescent lights. Demon Emperor Relic. Mo Ishiong looked at the ball of green light. This is the core of our demon world's heaven-defying battleship. It's called the Demon Emperor Relic. It's also a virtual divinity. I know that you humans seized the angel race's prophet battleship and obtained the prophet's AI, giving you many of your technologies. Now, I'll let you know the power of our Demon Emperor Relic. Demon Emperor Relic. Jiang Li looked at the ball of green light and knew it was powerful. It was something similar to the AI of the sovereign ship, a virtual divinity. It wasn't as powerful as the AI of the Legion ship, but it was definitely powerful. This heaven-defying battleship was the size of 3 Earths. For such a huge battleship, the AI within it had to be extremely powerful. Now that Mo Ishiong was using the power of the AI of the Demon Emperor Relic, it had instantly risen by several levels. Roar! A wave of green light enveloped Jiang Li like an ocean. Mo Ishiong's psychic fluctuations could be heard. Jiang Li, I originally didn't want to use this trump card, but you're too strong. No matter what tricks you use, I only have one word for you. Break. Jiang Li closed his eyes, allowing the green light to press down on him. The infinity array in his body activated, and the 4 laws revolved around each other, interlocking with each other. His infinity god fist danced out. Rumble. Infinity dream. The dream was born, and one dream after another appeared in the real world. He wanted to turn the real world into a dream world, or rather, he wanted to manifest his dreams in the real world. The green light that was pressing down was actually torn apart by him, layer by layer. He rushed in front of Mo Ishiong, and with a single punch, Mo Ishiong was sent flying. Mo Ishiong still couldn't block his punch. Has this guy gone crazy? Blood Devil Xuejing's body flickered continuously, drifting backwards. He felt that things were not looking good. This Jiang Li in front of him was really hard to deal with. He might as well retreat first. However, as he retreated, another Jiang Li appeared behind him. His psychic voice transmitted, Xuejing, what you see is an illusion. You are dreaming. I didn't actually send Mo Ishiong flying. The one who was sent flying was actually you. What? Blood Devil Xuejing looked at himself in disbelief. A large hand pierced through his chest, and he was sent flying, escaping from the green light at an inconceivable speed. Mo Xiong didn't move, and was still in his original position. Jiang Li didn't send him flying with a single punch. Everything was an illusion. Or perhaps, Jiang Li's dream had affected his psyche, causing him to be hallucinating. He had retreated, falling for Jiang Li's trick. A brilliant light appeared on Jiang Li's hand, as though the kingdom of heaven had descended. In an instant, all the great Tao in his body was frozen, and even his soul fire was imprisoned. This wasn't the power of Jiang Li's own body, but the power of the AI of the Sovereign. No, it should be the power of the AI of the Infinite. Originally, the AI of the Infinite couldn't teleport him here, but with the addition of the Grand Emperor's relic, things were different. As long as Jiang Li didn't stray too far, within 100 million light-years, he could still borrow the power of the godhood at any time. This was because he had a wormhole in his body, but if he was too far away, such as billions or billions of light-years away, he would lose connection with the godhood. He would have to rely on his own cultivation, and even the cultivation world's heavens wouldn't be able to help him. Jiang Li's own strength had already surpassed Blood Devil Xuejing's, and with the help of the AI of the Infinite and the Grand Emperor's relic, he was able to suppress the demon in one fell swoop. However, suppressing the demon didn't mean he could kill it. Blood demons were the hardest to kill. Even after refining, some blood demons could hide in the depths of a person's heart, tainting the cultivator with demonic nature. Of course, Jiang Li wouldn't refine them. What he wanted to do was to sacrifice them. He wanted to sacrifice Blood Devil Xuejing to the immortal world. Mighty immortal world's will, I am now fighting the demons. Sacrifice the blood demon, and destroy the demon's plot. Immortal world's will, descend a peerless azure energy to strengthen my soul fire. Jiang Li's divine will instantly flickered through the immortal world's passcode, connecting to it and beginning the sacrifice. An immortal world gate appeared above his head. Countless runes descended from the gate, and then Blood Devil Xuejing let out an ear-piercing scream. Don't sacrifice me, The sacrifice of a cultivator of 5 great Daos, especially a demon, is very beneficial to the immortal world's will. I've profited greatly from this sacrifice. My soul fire will multiply. Jiang Li's soul fire had been nourished last time, so this sacrifice was naturally to increase its power and increase his psychic power. As expected, the moment Blood Devil Xuejing was sacrificed, Jiang Li's entire body was enveloped in a peerless azure energy. The heavens truly favored him. This azure energy was like lamp oil, specifically used to strengthen one's soul fire. Just a bit of it, and Jiang Li's soul fire crackled, as if oil had been poured onto a fire. Under the influence of his psychic power, the infinite godly fist's power practically doubled. In just one breath, Blood Devil Xuejing was sacrificed. Blood Devil Xuejing was sacrificed. Peerless green chi poured out of his body like a waterfall. It was 10 times more than the underworld race being sacrificed last time. When that underworld race being sacrificed himself, Jiang Li's soul flame was nourished. And now, the source of his soul flame was strengthened. That soul flame was infused with a peerless green energy. Its color was completely golden, and the flames rose like a raging sacred flame that would never be extinguished. Blood Devil Xuejing became a part of the immortal world's essence and was absorbed, as if he had never come to this world. Your soul fire has reached this level? At this point, Mo Xiong was dumbfounded. He had never imagined that Jiang Li would be so savage. In the blink of an eye, he had captured Blood Devil Xuejing and sacrificed him. His soul flame grew stronger, and the gate to the immortal world opened. Jiang Li let out a long roar and absorbed all of the supreme azure chi into his body. At this time, he began to truly face Mo Xiong, as well as the demon emperor relic above his head. Mo Xiong, do you still want to struggle? Jiang Li's psychic power was unprecedentedly strong, and he felt like he could even comprehend the 14th stance of the infinite godly fist. As expected, the soul fire was the foundation. The stronger it was, the stronger one's cultivation base would be, and many profound mysteries of the martial Tao could be comprehended. Moreover, when Jiang Li breathed in slightly, all the cosmic storms here would rush into his body. He felt as if he could suck an entire galaxy into his body with a single breath. We don't know who will win and who will lose. You don't know the true secrets of the devil world, Mo Yixiong said gravely. The real battle has just begun. What a pitiful person. Jiang Li shook his head. This time, I obtained a complete victory. I plundered this demon base in front of me, sacrificed the demons, seized the demon emperor relic's photon computer, and obtained the demon technology within. Then I fused it with our photon computers, and the insectoid mother nest will advance. Chapter 595. 10,000 Devils Devour the Heart. Mo Yixiong made his move. His body merged with the green light and devilish qi surged. Ghostly immortals swirled around him, and with a single move, he began to attack. What he used was not a fist technique, but a claw technique. Claw shadows tore through the air, bringing with them wails of anguish and vital energy that directly corroded the souls of his opponents. Jiang Li was enveloped by the claw images, and his soul flame seemed to be covered by a shadow. However, the power of his soul flame had increased dramatically, and he didn't care about such an attack. The shadow flickered, and Jiang Li was completely unharmed. You can't do anything to me, Mo Yixiong. Since you have the Devil Emperor Sarira's photonic computer and virtual godhood, I'll use the true godhood to fight you. Let's see if the true godhood is stronger or the virtual godhood. The image of the Grand Emperor Sarira appeared above Jiang Li's head, a mass of primal chaos light that protected him. His soul flame had increased dramatically, and his psychic power had reached a level that ordinary people couldn't even imagine. That was why he was able to use the Grand Emperor Sarira with such immense psychic power. Nonsense. Mo Yixiong's claw was already reaching for his throat. That kind of speed could break through all defenses. Jiang Li's defensive true energy couldn't block it, and even the image of the Grand Emperor Sarira was trembling. Jiang Li took a step back and met the claw with a claw. His 5 fingers were shaped like dragons, and as they curved, runes appeared on his fingertips, as well as the image of a group of immortals descending. In addition, with a slight movement of his fingertips, stars began to fall, faintly revealing the image of the brain of the universe. This was a fist technique he had come up with after studying the Grand Emperor Seal and the Infinite Godly Fist. In the third dimension universe, the brain of the universe star territory and the immortal tower star territory were all dominating existences. They were mysterious and powerful, and even gods could not ignore them. Visualizing those star territories would allow one to gain immense power, and Jiang Li had actually hidden these things in his own attacks. Crack! His claw clashed with Mo Yixiong's claw, and as soon as the two clawed together, they transformed into a ripping attack. In the martial path, claw against claw, clashing and tearing at each other, had the most variations. But at this moment, Jiang Li's martial path was clearly above Mo Yixiong's. This was because he had sacrificed blood demon Xuejing to obtain a powerful strength, and he also had a true divinity godhead to suppress the demon emperor relic. With a sound, he broke Mo Yixiong's claw. After that, he took another step forward and clawed at Mo Yixiong's head. In the depths of Mo Yixiong's head, there was a ball of soul fire that was extremely vigorous. He had to grab it and do his best to seal and destroy it. Only then would he be able to destroy Mo Yixiong's combat strength. Jiang Li, who had comprehended 4 laws, his strength was already above Mo Yixiong's. Demon world domination. Mo Yixiong hurriedly retreated, dodging Jiang Li's attacks. However, it was to no avail. Jiang Li's claw viciously grabbed onto his head. Bang! Mo Yixiong's head exploded from the claw. His soul fire appeared, forming a formation. This was a formation formed by devils and devils. 5 grand daos revolved around it, forming a sturdy defense. Jiang Li actually discovered that these 5 grand daos weren't contained in the Grand Emperor relic. The Grand Emperor relic's grand daos were all passed down from the immortal world. Clearly, the Grand Emperor had a deep connection with the immortal world. Mo Yixiong's grand daos were the typical devil dao. Among them were the Sin Grand Dao, Heart Devil Grand Dao, Vengeful Spirit Grand Dao, Sin Grand Dao, and Misfortune Grand Dao. Each of them was a devil dao that specialized in harming people. They wanted to harvest, devour, and torture the souls of others. Actually, directly devouring the souls of living beings was better. Some of the Grand Daos specialized in capturing living beings and using all sorts of methods to torture them, generating resentment and hatred. Then, they would absorb the power of resentment and hatred as their foundation. That was the Devil Dao. Directly killing people and torturing people were fundamentally different. Killing was the law of the jungle, where the strong preyed on the weak. Torturing people was perverted and twisted. That was the Devil Dao. The Grand Emperor relic contained the Grand Daos of devouring and killing, but there were no daos of torture. When Jiang Li saw Mo Yixiong's grand daos, his heart stirred. He didn't hold back and attacked once more. Dong, 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 dong. He closed in step by step. Each step he took in the air would cause one's soul to tremble. His body moved according to a certain rhythm, synchronizing with the 3 dimensions of the universe. The power of the stars was imbued into his body. He punched out again. On his fist, motes of starlight appeared. He actually punched out the universe brain star domain, which seemed to be connected to Jiang Li as one. Jiang Li was borrowing the power of the universe brain. Pung! This fist was something Mo Yixiong couldn't block at all. All the arrays were destroyed, and the 5 grand daos and the soul fire actually scattered, unable to connect to each other. It was extremely dangerous, extremely dangerous. The relationship between the soul fire and the Grand Daos was like the commander and the soldiers. The commander commanded the soldiers in an orderly manner. Once they were separated, the commander would lose the protection of the soldiers, and that would be dangerous. Good chance. Jiang Li grabbed the chance. His body flickered, and the stars in the sky fell down. Light flashed everywhere, dispersing the demonic qi. He took another step forward. He didn't use his claws, but his fingers. His fingers were like needles, and all the power was concentrated on one point. This was the Sky Origin Strike, the strongest attack he had learned from Blood Devil Xuejing. The Sky Origin Strike was extremely ancient, and wasn't a technique of the Blood World, but it had been passed down there. Blood Devil Xuejing used the Sky Origin Strike to use the Blood Demon Needle, which was actually a waste of resources. But Jiang Li used the Sky Origin Strike to use the Infinite Godly Fist, which was many times more powerful than the Blood Demon Needle. When he sacrificed Blood Devil Xuejing, Jiang Li had already searched through all his martial arts memories, and learned the Sky Origin Strike. Selling on the spot, killing Mo Yixiong was a piece of cake. One strike. The Infinite Godly Fist gathered, and Jiang Li's body fluttered. He suddenly struck out, Infinite Sky Origin. He had comprehended the 14th move of the Infinite Godly Fist. Infinite Sky Origin. Sky Origin was the origin point of the heavens. At the very center, where all the heavens were concentrated, 10,000 heavens gathered, 10,000 heaven origin point. Sky Origin Strike. Infinite Sky Origin. At the moment Jiang Li attacked, all the power was concentrated on one point. This strike instantly broke through the 5 great daos, and the fist force was like a tidal wave, bombarding the soul fire one after another. Zzz. Mo Yixiong's soul fire screamed miserably as he tried to dodge Jiang Li's attack. But unfortunately, Jiang Li's attack contained an infinite amount of Heaven Yuan energy, and was simply too terrifying. Even the phantom of the Demon Emperor relic was shattered, and the source of Mo Yixiong's soul fire was wounded. He fled at high speed, but Jiang Li took it one step further. With a claw, the infinite sky origin strike changed again, and the 10,000 heavens and 10,000 worlds were in his grasp. "No, don't grab me!" Mo Yixiong screamed and begged for mercy, appearing extremely cowardly. He could no longer control his negative emotions. This was one of the drawbacks of cultivating the devil path. It was very easy for one to enter cultivation deviation and lose their rationality. There was simply too much resentment in the Tao. However, Jiang Li didn't care about his pleas at all. He fiercely grabbed him and began to sacrifice him. "In my name, I sacrifice devils and devil race experts to the immortal world. May the heavens will of the immortal world favor me." Jiang Li used his psyche to communicate with the immortal world. Instantly, Mo Yixiong transformed into flames, shooting into the depths of the void. After that, the gate to the immortal world opened and a giant hand appeared. This time, it wasn't an infusion of green qi, but the heaven's will of the immortal world. This giant hand was actually a color that had never been seen before. It was ancient and vicissitudes, representing the vicissitudes of time and the evolution of history. It was unknown how many years had passed, but the primordial energy of the primordial world poured into the depths of Jiang Li's mind. The giant hand of the immortal world caressed his head. This was the boundless comprehension of the immortal world. This was of a higher level than the peerless green qi. The heaven's will of the immortal world was transmitting a portion of its own comprehension to Jiang Li. It was injecting its own cultivation experience, the transformations of the heavenly Daos, the advancement techniques, and everything else into the depths of his soul flame. In this way, the martial arts experience Jiang Li obtained wouldn't just be a little bit stronger. It would be invaluable. After all, the benefits of sacrificing devils were much greater than sacrificing the blood race. The greatest enemy of the immortal world was the devil race. Every time a devil was sacrificed, the immortal world would obtain a portion of the information of the devil world, and even its essence. Immortals were sacrificed in the same way. Therefore, what Jiang Li obtained from sacrificing Mo Yixiong far surpassed what he obtained from sacrificing Blood Devil Xuejing. His soul flames swelled up once more, and within the flames, a dazzling golden light could be seen. The golden light condensed into golden needles that shot out in all directions. The strength of his soul flame increased once more. Right now, my psychic power must be at least a few thousand dimensional unit. As Jiang Li did some calculations, the Grand Emperor Saraira began to display his psychic power. Your psychic power is at 8,965 dimensional units. The Grand Emperor Saraira's systems accurately calculated Jiang Li's value, and he was about to break the 5 digits. Back on Earth, sages had psychic scales in the hundreds, and great Tao experts in the thousands. The further one got, the harder it would be to break through. After reaching the great Tao level, it would be very difficult to increase one's psychic scale by even the tiniest bit. Jiang Li had sacrificed himself several times to gain boundless enlightenment. Generally speaking, great Tao experts had a psychic scale of 1,000, and those with 2 grand Daos had a psychic scale of 2,000. Jiang Li's current level of psychic power put him at the level of an expert with 9 grand Daos, which was completely shocking. Of course, he still couldn't match up to someone with 9 grand Daos. His cultivation level was simply too low. He would have to wait until he could cultivate more magical laws and master the boundless great Tao. That said, I'm going to take this devilish altar. I'll sacrifice all of these devils to the immortal world. His claws were like the wind. Every time he clawed, he displayed all the secrets of the Sky Origin Strike. He was not familiar with the Sky Origin Strike before, but he was able to use it more and more vividly in a battle like this. The martial path of the infinite divine fist was getting faster and faster, its power getting stronger and stronger, and its killing intent getting sharper and sharper. As for the devil ancestor of the Devil Emperor system, he didn't move at all. His entire body was covered in green flames, as though he was a legendary green-robed old ancestor. He didn't have the slightest bit of emotions that belonged to the devil race or the human race. When he attacked, he was completely using the fist techniques and martial arts of the ancestor of the Devil Tao. Although it was a casual attack, it contained the resentment and devilish energy of the heavens and earth. Compared to Mo Yixiong's martial arts, it was many times more profound. The Great Emperor has arrived. Jiang Li activated the power of the Grand Emperor Sarira, and a primordial emperor appeared in the photonic computer system. Jiang Li connected to the human system, and used the power of the human race to suppress the Devil Tao founder system. Rumble. In the depths of the system, the destiny of the human race descended, instantly diluting the demonic will. The massive amount of data from the human race entered the Devil Tao Patriarch system, causing the system to collapse. The Devil Tao Patriarch began to crumble. Jiang Li seized the opportunity. His whole body moved, and flames appeared on his body. These were data flames, not real flames, but they were also nirvanic rebirth. Infinite nirvana, the nirvana of all living things, the nirvana of the demonic Tao, turn the demonic into the Tao, turn evil into righteousness. Jiang Li let out a long howl. I smashed the Devil Tao Patriarch into pieces with one punch, and then his body burned with raging flames. Not long later, the entire human system was connected. After the Devil Tao Patriarch underwent nirvana, he became an existence similar to an immortal. He really turned over a new leaf. The Devil Tao Patriarch system was now part of the human system, and was now a part of the human race, not a part of the Devil Tao Patriarch. Then, the interior of the heaven-defying battleship underwent earth-shaking changes. Now, this battleship belonged to the humans, not the demons. In the blink of an eye, the control of the heaven-defying battleship began to shift. There were still plenty of devils in the depths of the heaven-defying battleship, and they had no idea what had happened. What's going on? Our connection to the Devil Tao Patriarch system has been severed? We can't control the Devil Emperor Sarira? The Devil Sovereign of the Devil Tao Patriarch system was leading the Devil Kings, Generals, and Devil Ghosts in prayer. There was an enormous altar in the depths of the heaven-defying battleship, and it was connected to the Devil Tao Patriarch system. The prayers of all living beings could be heard, and the power of the Devil Tao Patriarch system was being transmitted. But now, the devil fire was extinguished. Many of the devils could sense that their connection to the Devil Tao Patriarch system had been severed. Even as they were at a loss as to what to do, an immense power swept through the altar. It was the god power of the heaven-defying battleship, as well as Jiang Li's own god power. With just one tremble, all of them were turned to ashes. They had all been sacrificed. Then, the immortal realm descended upon Jiang Li's body, and many more auras of favor descended upon him. Your mental power has reached 9,000 dimensional units. The Grand Emperor Sarira was inspecting the strength of his soul fire. This time, Jiang Li's mental power was comparable to experts with 9 grand Daos. Not bad, not bad. Jiang Li saw the devils in the heaven-defying battleship disappear, and he couldn't help but nod. He scanned with his divine will and found many treasures stored in the depths of the heaven-defying battleship. Start the heaven-defying battleship and head to the cultivation world. Jiang Li moved, and the entire battleship started to warp. This battleship was made by the devil race, and it was much more advanced than the human race's technology. After entering the cultivation world, humans would have the ability to travel long distances, and technology would once again explode. The heaven-defying battleship started to move, and it disappeared into the storm without a sound. Then, it didn't use wormhole warp, but a planar folding method. Actually, wormhole warp was the most primitive method in the universe. There was also a higher-level warp method, which was planar folding. The two universes were folded, and the distance between them was infinitely close. The human race's warship technology could only warp through wormholes, and not between two universes. In other words, human warships couldn't warp through other dimensions, but this heaven-defying battleship could. Otherwise, the Devil race wouldn't have been able to warp through the Devil world. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, the enormous heaven-defying battleship entered the depths of the cultivation world and landed in the human base, where it started to fuse with planet Infinity. The battleship broke down, and countless insectoids flew out from the depths of planet Infinity. They analyzed the technology of the Devil race and stored the data. After that, the human scientists also started to study it. Dream Kite and the three immortals ran over and looked at the enormous heaven-defying battleship in disbelief. My God, the heaven-defying battleship of the Devil race. Did you really destroy the Devil race's sacrificial altar? Did your cultivation level increase by quite a bit? That's right, Yang-Chi said. I sacrificed all of the Devil race to cut off their source of faith. It's like pulling the firewood from under the pot. The next thing we need to do is deal with the sections. I'm sure their devilish nature has flared up. That's secondary, Jiang Li said. The photonic computer of the Limitless and the heaven-defying battleship are starting to fuse. Humanity's systems are going to upgrade, and our technology is going to reach a new level. If we're given a few decades to develop, we'll definitely become a powerful race. Now that the systems are upgrading, there are many problems that need to be dealt with. As for the sects, let's observe them for now. Of course we have to observe them first. Saving them right now isn't the right thing to do. Jiang Li smiled. Once they're bewitched and filled with hatred, we'll act. If we help them now, they won't appreciate it. In fact, they'll think we're bullying them. Activate observation mode. Dream Paper Kite activated the human system. At the foot of Sky-Piercing Peak, many sects were practicing their formations. All of a sudden, the light of the formation dimmed and finally extinguished. No one could receive the blessing of the Devil realm. Meng Jiangnan sat on the Alliance leader's throne. He was originally very pleased with himself, but when he saw the power of the demon world seeping into this place, he laughed maniacally in his heart. Soon, the demon world will descend upon the cultivation world. I will receive the blessing of the demon world and devour the cultivation world. Jiang Li, this bastard, I will cut him into pieces sooner or later. With a howl, the head of the Pure Sun sect appeared in the main hall. What's going on? Alliance head, something went wrong with our formation. It can't connect to the immortal world anymore. Impossible. How can this be? Meng Jiangnan stood up, his eyes glowing. What did you say? Yes, we can't absorb the power of the immortal world either. The head of the militarist sect flew in as well. When our sects were practicing the formation, we prayed that there would be no reaction at all. Thereafter, grandmasters flew in one after another. Impossible, impossible. Meng Jiangnan started to connect to the demon world, but realized that it was empty. He couldn't connect no matter what. Shua, his face turned ashen white. What happened? Elephant King and Jun Songxing felt that things weren't good. They knew that something bad had happened. Let me observe. Meng Jiangnan also felt that things weren't good. He jumped up and wanted to see what was going on. But suddenly, many screams spread out from the foot of the mountain. Something happened to the students of the Pure Sun sect. Something happened to the group of students who had prayed to form the formation to connect to the celestial world. Their faces turned red and then green spears grew out of their bodies. They were like ghosts and gods. Apart from that, they also grew fangs. The demonic nature of their bodies flared up. Chapter 597. Roar. A student of the Pure Yang College, who was originally in the embryonic breathing realm, could completely control his Taoist heart, but now he had become a devil. He let out a shrill scream, then laughed hideously, as though he was a zombie that had been infected with a virus. He pounced on a comrade beside him, fiercely biting him. Then, he tore him apart and swallowed him. This was a completely irrational cannibalism. It was more demonic than the most ferocious devil. This demonic nature spread like a plague. In the blink of an eye, the students of the Pure Yang College had become hell on earth. Everyone had become a devil, attacking others indiscriminately. Ah! Director Chun Yang let out a long cry of grief and anger. He was prepared to stop this tragedy from happening, but his body also emitted a thick demonic nature, causing green hair to grow on his body. What is this? Why am I also infected with demonic nature? It's immortal chi. That immortal chi is not immortal chi at all, but demonic chi. The demonic chi disguised as immortal chi and was absorbed by us. We thought that our abilities had greatly increased, but in fact we had unknowingly become a devil. We communicated with and prayed to not the immortal realm, but the devil realm. At this moment, Director Chun Yang finally knew the truth of the matter. The demonic nature contained many secrets when the demonic chi exploded. At this moment, the sect leaders present also acted up one by one. The demonic nature in their bodies exploded. However, they were saints and could barely suppress it, but they were all extremely weak. Meng Jiangnan, you beast, why did you do this? Didn't you say that you were the emissary of the immortal realm? Why have you become the emissary of the devil realm now? You lied to us. You said that you were absorbing immortal chi, but in fact, you were absorbing demonic chi. Director Chun Yang was filled with hatred. Also, Jun Sangxing, Elephant King, you guys lied to us too. Since we can't hide it until now, I wonder what happened to the Devil Realm altar? Meng Jiangnan wasn't affected by the devilish energy. Instead, he looked at the demonic nature of the sect leaders acting up and killing each other. He shot to his feet and said, "But it doesn't matter. It's good that there's a problem with the sacrificial altar of the devil world. Those devils are still holding me back, and without them, I have less to worry about. After all, I have the password to the devil world. When your devilish nature explodes, I'll sacrifice you to the devil world. That way I'll get more." Meng Jiangnan flew over and grabbed one of the sect leaders. Energy surged into the other party's body, and he opened the password to the demon world. Instantly, the sect leader turned into a cloud of demonic smoke and was sucked into the depths of the dimension. A huge demonic will came down, causing Meng Jiangnan's body to creak, as if he was reforming. A powerful aura seeped out, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. Piaoling Sect Master. Dean Chunyang watched helplessly. Meng Jiangnan, you are the real devil. We were blind. That's right. You're all blind. Meng Jiangnan grinned hideously. You old fart, can't you just trust anyone? Trust me? And now you're the second to die? He walked over step by step. At this time, the demonic nature of the various sects was acting up, and it was chaos. Just as he was about to capture Dean Chunyang and sacrifice him in one fell swoop to increase his strength once again, a purple stream of air appeared out of nowhere. Then, a large number of runes erupted from the sky-piercing peak. These runes descended onto the mountains, rivers, and earth. Those disciples who were tainted by the demonic nature all had their demonic nature dissipate, but those who died could not be resurrected. Then a purple current appeared in the hall, specifically for killing demons. The demonic nature of the sect leaders was suppressed, and 5 people appeared in the hall. Jiang Li, Dream Kite, and 3 immortals, Yuan Yen, Yuan Hua, and Yuan Meng. It's you, Jiang Li. Meng Jiangnan retreated. That's right, Meng Jiangnan. You joined forces with the demon world to lure all the sects in the cultivation world into becoming demons. Luckily, I saw through your plot long ago, and joined forces with the real immortal world to destroy the altar of the demon race, cut off the channel of demonic energy, and destroyed the group of demons. Jiangli looked at the surrounding sect leaders. Everyone, now do you know who is righteous and who is evil? Let me introduce you. These three are the real immortal world emissaries, disciples of the Origin Yuan sect, Yuan Yen, Yuan Hua, and Yuan Meng. Slay demons and protect the immortal world. Yuan Yen walked over. We are irreconcilable with the demon world. The demon world specializes in enticing living beings to fall into depravity, while the immortal world believes in self-improvement. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Any cultivation requires hard work. There's no such thing as overnight success. You're lying. You're also from the demon world. Meng Jiangnan was eager to escape. Don't believe me. They're the demons from beyond the heavens. Just now, we became demons because of them. They destroyed the altar of the immortal world, then replaced it with the demon world's altar, and tricked me. Meng Jiangnan, do you think I'll believe you? Just now, you captured sect leader Piaoling and offered him to the demon world. Do you think we're all blind? Of course, the sect leaders wouldn't believe him. If Meng Jiangnan hadn't revealed his ferocious side, they'd still be doubtful. But now, they'd be fools to believe him. Whoosh! Meng Jiangnan leaped up. However, Jiangli waved his hand, and Meng Jiangnan fell from the sky, bound by an invisible rope. Meng Jiangnan, you're the former president of the human race. Last time, you were sentenced for the crime of exterminating the human race, but you escaped. You're still a wanted criminal, so we won't kill you this time. Instead, we'll bring you back for trial. At the same time, we'll warn the experts of the human race that no one can escape the punishment of the law. Of course, you can also make up for your mistake by telling them Jiang Nalin's secret. Perhaps they'll imprison you and cripple your cultivation. I'll plead for you to the judge, Jiangli said. Jun Songxing and Elephant King also wanted to escape, but Jiangli pointed at them. Their acupoints seemed to have been sealed, and they couldn't move. Although they'd also cultivated the Great Tao, they weren't Jiangli's opponent. You two aren't humans, and your demonic nature runs deep. You actually want to start a war. According to the laws of the human race, you'll have to accept our military court's judgment. Jiangli, everyone, you don't know the truth and have been bewitched. This time, we humans have completely taken control of Heaven's Peak. I hope you won't resist and join the Earth Federation to build the cultivation world together. How about it? Are you really from the world of immortals? Dean Chunyang's spirit was completely gone. That's right, we're the emissaries of the world of immortals. We've come to the mortal world in search of opportunities. This world itself is inextricably linked to the world of immortals. It's our territory, so we naturally have to protect it from the invasion of the demon world. The three immortals said, Jiang Li is the orthodox of the world of immortals. You must listen to his orders. Jiang Li, I've inherited the will of the cultivation world, so I'm the righteous one. If you still refuse to come to your senses, then I'll have no choice but to judge you for destroying the world. At this time, the sky was filled with warships. They were all human warship. Moreover, the human warships were blessed by the cultivation world's will. Halos of heavens will appeared on them. We'll join, we'll join. Mercenary sect's sect leader hurriedly nodded. He already knew how powerful they were. Alright, Dreamkite, you'll take charge of things here. Unify the cultivation world and bring all the sect leaders to planet Infinity for a meeting. We'll judge them according to human law. Jiang Li waved his hand. A passage opened. The three immortals posed a great threat. Many of the sect leaders present entered the passage and entered the depths of planet Infinity. Then, it was time for a military trial. After a series of complicated human procedures, Elephant King and Jun Sangxing were sentenced to be sacrificed to the cultivation world's will. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Jiang Li personally presided over the ceremony. Elephant King and Jun Sangxing were sacrificed. They were born in the cultivation world but colluded with the demon race to destroy world peace. They had to offer their lives to the cultivation world. Meng Jiangnan was also put on trial. His cultivation was destroyed and he became a cripple. Then, he was imprisoned forever and nailed to the pillar of shame in human history. All of this was carried out in an orderly manner. All the sect leaders saw Elephant King and Jun Sangxing being sacrificed. The two of them screamed, begged, and cried, but it was useless. In the end, their souls merged into the source of the cultivation world. Only now did the sect leaders feel how powerful the human race was, as well as the human race's orderly system and laws. They were filled with reverence, and did not dare to go against the humans. I hereby announce that from now on, there will be no more wars in the cultivation world. We will spread the advanced system and ideology to all of you. From now on, there will be no more killing in the entire world. There will only be progress. Jiang Li announced to all the sect leaders. Hong Long. The moment he made his declaration, the entire cultivation world fluctuated. A source of order seemed to be cheering in joy. Everyone saw that the entire world was unprecedentedly clear, like it was about to become heaven. Everyone knew that this was a good thing. If the world was in chaos, it would definitely look gray and hazy, and one's spirit would not be at ease. But now, it was bright and flawless, which meant that Jiang Li was righteous. At that moment, a revolutionary change happened in the cultivation world. Everyone, go back after the meeting. Reorganize the sects, and then we humans will slowly spread civilization and systems to change. This is a long process. Now, all the saints in the cultivation world, I can give you foreign human identities and you can connect to the human network. Jiang Li waved his hand and many cards appeared in their hands. The meeting went on for a long time. For 3 whole months, the sect leaders of these sects studied on Infinity Star, while Dream Paper Kite sent human scholars to spread human order and ideology. They also helped the humans in the cultivation world learn technology, develop their strength, stop fighting, and improve the law. After the meeting ended, the fate of the cultivation world increased greatly. Looking at the cultivation world from the depths of the universe, it was a giant ball. There was some mist and some impurities within, but the inside started to crystallize like flames were refining the impurities. This was a sign that the negative energy in the world was slowly disappearing and order was strengthening. It was a sign that the cohesiveness was changing. The situation of the cultivation world has been settled. Soon, it will become a real dimension. On a dead planet, 2 people stood. One of them was Jiang Nalan. He was unwilling. The demon race was actually destroyed by Jiang Li. Moreover, he has started to reorganize the internal order of the cultivation world. This is a great merit for the entire world. The moment the world advances, he will also receive a huge boost. From now on, no one will be his match. Don't worry, it isn't that easy to advance in the cultivation world. Beside Jiang Nalan stood a young man with bronze skin. He wasn't from the demon race or an angel, but he was very familiar with Jiang Nalan. His body exuded a powerful martial arts aura. He was actually someone from the martial world. Chapter 598. Jiang Nalan wasn't from the demon clan, nor was he from the angel clan. He was from the martial world. He'd even obtained the martial world password earlier than Meng Jiangnan. Meng Jiangnan's martial world magic had been taught by him. This mysterious person from the martial world was his ultimate helper. He could help him realize many of his dreams. Jiang Nalan, the cultivation world is a space that's going to become a real dimension. In other words, heaven's will become as powerful as God. How can such an existence not attract the attention of many experts? The myriad realms will descend and the great tribulation will appear. How can it escape? Also, the cultivation world and the immortal world are inextricably linked. This will make it a target for everyone. So, we just need to wait and see. At the most critical moment, we'll take this world. The bronze-skinned young man from the martial world said. Senior brother Wu Lusha, what role should we play in the great tribulation to take the myriad realms' celestial sphere? Jiang Nalan asked. This person from the martial world was called Wu Lusha. Wu Lusha thought for a moment. Among the myriad realms, the immortal world is still the strongest. Although our martial world is tyrannical, we have to admit that this world is the oldest and most complicated dimension. Whoever controls the immortal world controls the future. However, several supreme great emperors of the immortal world are missing. Now there's no leader. The world is in chaos. If we can find the lost divine artifact of the immortal world, the jade plate of good fortune will have the upper hand. Where is the jade plate of good fortune? Jiang Nalan asked. It's very likely that it's been divided into two parts and hidden in two places in the third dimension. One is the brain of the universe's star zone, and the other is the immortal tower's star zone. However, these two star zones are huge, with many mazes and many experts. Even the experts of the immortal world and the gods don't dare to provoke them. The masters of the brain of the universe's star zone and the immortal tower's star zone are existences that surpass the gods and can touch true chaos. They can completely ignore the laws of the third dimension. What you need to do now is very simple. I will help you choose one of them and enter the star zone. Then, become a disciple of these two existences and gradually climb up. With your talent, you can definitely advance by leaps and bounds and obtain the secrets of the jade plate of good fortune. Wu Lusha said. Universe's brain star territory, immortal tower star territory? Jiang Nalan said, what exactly is this place? There's no need to ask anymore. These two places can be said to be the places closest to the primal chaos. Wu Lusha said, the mysteries are endless. The reason why your previous plan failed was because the human's martial ancestor Ba Liming transmitted his will from the immortal tower and defeated those experts. As for Wang Chao, it is very likely that he has entered the universe's brain star domain. Very well, then I will also enter. My life's wish is to fight with Wang Chao and see who is the number one human, Jiang Nalan said unwillingly. With Jiang Li's current cultivation, you are no match for him. Wu Lusha said, however, we shouldn't go to the brain of the universe star field right now because the myriad realms celestial sphere has awakened. People from those two star fields will definitely come and negotiate with the myriad realms emissary. We have to stabilize the situation in the third dimension universe. Otherwise, the war will expand here, and the myriad worlds will be destroyed. Are we still going to wait here? Jiang Nalan frowned. Maybe Meng Jiangnan will betray me, and Jiang Li will come to kill me. He will find me. Right now, we can't go to the universe's brain star field. It is an extremely large force, and everyone there is tyrannical and boundless. They can contend with the myriad worlds, Wu Lusha said. Our martial world also doesn't want to easily provoke these two forces. So, we have to follow the proper procedures and let them accept disciples. I see. Jiang Nalan was secretly shocked. It seemed that in the myriad world's star field, there were too many powerful forces. Let's wait. Before long, the power of the myriad realm's celestial sphere will grow stronger. At that time, more passages will open in the martial world, and people from the martial world will appear. You still have to improve your strength. The martial world is a place where strength speaks. Although you have joined my sect, you still can't slack off. You are a good seedling. When the time comes, I will work with you to seize the primal chaos palea energy of the angels. The angels are strong, but compared to the martial world, they are nothing. Wu Lusha smiled. Elder brother, How does your cultivation base compare to Jiang Li's? Can you kill him? Jiang Nailan suddenly had a thought. He is extremely strong. He created his own great Tao and cut his way through the primal chaos. But his level is too low. In a one-on-one fight, he doesn't need to use his godhood. With the power of virtual godhood, I can kill him. Wu Lusha said proudly. When will I show you my fist technique? The people from the martial world are different from those from any other world. Even as they spoke, the two of them vanished into thin air. Cultivation world, human base, planet infinity. The leaders of the human government, the leaders of corporations, the military, and the financial sector were all in a meeting. This time, it was a major decision-making event. The financial, military, and political direction of the world would be decided by this conference. Jiang Li and Dream Kite were the hosts of the meeting, while Yuan Yen, Yuan Hua, and Yuan Meng listened from the sidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, let me briefly explain the current situation in the cultivation world. Meng Paper Kite was the president, and she began to speak. Right now, many of the sects in the cultivation world have already accepted the spread of our civilization. Our current thinking is not to conquer them, not to plunder them, but to be the world's police. We can't let them fight, but rather let them develop peacefully. We will give them advanced ideas, but if the best of them want to join us to learn, that's fine, but they have to go through tests. Just like that, we will continuously absorb the best of the big sects, expand the power of humanity, and finally reach the point where we can change the entire cultivation world. We have already suppressed the situation in the cultivation world, a leader of the military said. His name was Michael Wenley, and he was in existence close to becoming a saint. Our army has helped resolve thousands of wars between the sects over the past few days. Now that the entire cultivation world knows that we are the world's police, no one dares to act rashly. Moreover, we have begun to set up a Skynet system to monitor any changes in the entire cultivation world. The Academy of Science. Jiang Li said, setting up the Skynet is the responsibility of the Academy of Science. It's like this. The head of the Academy of Science was actually Jiang Zhendong, Jiang Li's father. He was now the most famous scientist of the human race and presided over the highest Academy of Science. Now that we have obtained the technology of the demon race, it is dark technology. It will take some time for us to digest it, but we have developed a virtual starry sky. In the sky of the cultivation world, we can condense a starry sky. This way we can monitor everything in the cultivation world, big or small. Apart from that, I also suggest that we build air corridors and teleportation arrays so that there is no distance between cities and sects. I object. At this time, an elder of the financial world spoke up. This kind of construction will consume too much money unless the sects provide the funds and materials. We humans need to maintain our operations and development. We are not the saviors of the world. The planning department will come up with detailed data for these things, and then we will hold a special meeting to study it. This is a matter of economic development. Development in the cultivation world has become a small matter. Our main focus now is on how to take back Earth, Dreamkite said. Taking back Earth is a must. Some elders agreed. But Earth is actually the myriad realm sphere. If we occupy it, we will immediately become the target of public criticism. It is not a good thing to take it back, because we have no ability to protect our home at all. We can only give it up. We suggest that we set up a stronghold and give birth to babies. Only babies born on Earth are pure humans. Now everyone knew that the souls of babies born on Earth would be refined by the myriad world's celestial sphere the moment they were formed, which meant that they had a special characteristic. For the time being, we can only set up a stronghold and give birth to as many babies as possible. This is where the bloodline of humans lies, so we must not be careless. Jiang Li also knew that it was impossible for humans to control the myriad realms sphere, so he could only come up with this plan. However, the construction of the cultivation world has to be sped up. You probably don't know the most important point, which is that we have integrated the order of the cultivation world. The entire world itself is growing, and it will soon be promoted to a real dimension that no longer exists in the third dimension universe. When that time comes, because we humans have contributed greatly to the promotion of the dimension, we will all be promoted. Among us humans, everyone will benefit greatly. This is the most important thing. If my calculations are correct, the moment the dimension is promoted, the overall quality of humans will increase tenfold. Humans were still weak now, so it would probably take a long time for them to promote as a whole. However, the promotion of the cultivation world could indeed benefit everyone. This was especially so for Jiang Li himself. He did not know to what extent his strength would increase. Everyone, there is one more thing. I know that many humans are currently stuck at a bottleneck and are unable to promote to the Saint Realm. However, with the promotion of the world, it will be very easy for all of you to break through the bottleneck. However, the promotion of the cultivation world now requires a lot of things. The most important thing we have to do next is to quickly transform the cultivation world. Jiang Li already had a plan in mind. What does the promotion of the entire world need? Jiang Zhendong was in charge of the Academy of Sciences. He led a large group of scientists and was very interested in this research topic. I have to discuss the specifics with Heaven's will again. I might even ask him for more benefits for us humans. Jiang Li, the main purpose of today's meeting is to determine the general direction of our human race. We humans should go from radical to stable, work hard to develop, and do everything possible to strengthen our strength. As for the great calamity in the future, don't think that it is already safe. The real calamity has yet to come. Chapter 599. After the meeting, Jiang Li flew up. He flew to the depths of the heavens will space to meet the youth and discuss a series of matters. Others could not enter the heavens will space. Even if they wanted to, they had to go to the heavens bridge peak and pass through layers of tribulations to see the true face of heaven's will. But he did not need to. With a flash, he passed through the void barrier and arrived at the depths of the heavens will space. The interior of the heavens will space had already begun to change. It was as bright as water and as silver as frost. The youth was lazily lying on an altar, fast asleep, as if he did not notice Jiang Li's arrival. I have already integrated the cultivation world's order and gradually spread human civilization to the entire world. Now that the world is in order, technology will also develop. Jiang Li knew that the youth was actually cultivating. Very good, looks like my judgment was right. The youth was still sleeping, but he sent out a mental wave. With you here, I can save all my energy and cultivate by myself. Otherwise, I would have to split 80% of my energy to manage the entire world every day. It would be impossible for me to improve by leaps and bounds. What Heavens will had to do every day was to manage the growth of the entire world and defend against foreign invasions. At the same time, it was to prevent the living beings from falling and killing each other. In the end, the world would fall into chaos and decay. This way, it would expend a lot of energy and would not be able to level up. Now that it had Jiang Li and the humans to help it develop the world, fend off foreign invasions, supervise the world, and even adjust its fate, it could really cultivate in peace and absorb the world's vitality to expand. Jiang Li also understood this principle. However, he also knew that it would be very difficult for the entire world to level up with just the youth's cultivation. I plan to mobilize the entire human race to prepare for the world's advancement. Among them, the best way to make the world's heavens will grow rapidly is through sacrifice. Now that the myriad worlds have descended, Our human experts have gone out to hunt down all sorts of experts and then set up altars to sacrifice to you. Only then will your strength truly grow rapidly. Jiangli said. Indeed, sacrifice is the only way for every world to level up, the youth said. Young man, Tianyi said, moreover, you seem to be able to mobilize the sects in the cultivation world to kill experts above the myriad world's celestial sphere and offer them to me. Of course, the myriad world's celestial orb appeared to provide us with many sacrificial offerings. However, I still have to discuss with you about the offerings. Jiangli had come here mainly to discuss this matter. Although there was a law of equivalent exchange of energy in the universe, every world was more or less different. Some were generous, some were stingy, and some did not even give anything in return. This seemed to be business. Both sides of the transaction had to set down rules. Actually, if they wanted the cultivation world's heavenly will to ascend quickly, the best way for the entire human race to do so was to not receive any gifts but to directly offer sacrifices. However, this would greatly affect the enthusiasm of the human race. If they could not obtain any benefits, who would offer sacrifices? Immediately, Jiangli and the Youth of Heavens will discussed for a while and calculated the feedback of the sacrifice together. For example, how many living beings were killed, how many souls were sacrificed, how many blessings were obtained. All of these things had gone through the most precise calculations, and there were absolutely no loopholes. After discussing for a long time, Tianyi woke up and stood up. He waved his hand and immediately displayed the situation of the solar system. The solar system had also become a membrane embryo. It was filled with a dense atmosphere, and living beings constantly poured out, even beginning to expand outside the solar system. Many unknown races appeared, and the souls of these races were diverse, making them the best species for sacrifice. The power of the myriad world's celestial sphere is about to be activated, Tianyi said. Tianyi said, this will also bring in enough resources. If you humans go all out, and the people of the cultivation world also go hunting and sacrificing, the entire world will be able to accumulate enough power to level up in about a year or two. However, my leveling up is too shocking. It's equivalent to directly becoming a god in the third dimension, and an existence even more powerful than ordinary gods. It will definitely attract the attention of countless ancient powers. Because if they refine me into a magic treasure while I'm ascending, that will be a tribulation, an even greater tribulation. I also know this. When you ascend, there will definitely be a tribulation, and it will be a tribulation thousands of times more dangerous than the one we humans face. We must prepare as well. The fate of the human race is now linked to yours, and we can only deal with it together. From now on, I won't offer sacrifices to the immortal world, Jiangli said. Instead, I will do my best to kill experts and offer them to you. Very good. You are very strong, especially after obtaining demon technology. The photon computer of Infinite has been upgraded once more, and in time, the brood mother will become even stronger. If you offer sacrifices, I won't be able to give you anything. I can only remember this debt. When I ascend, I will become a god and you will rule over the world. When Jiangli heard this, he understood Tianyi's difficulties. Indeed, he was too strong. If he offered sacrifices to the immortal world, it could replenish him. After all, he was still very insignificant compared to the immortal world, but the young man really couldn't give him anything in the cultivation world. After all, Jiangli's psychic power had already reached 9,000 dimensional units, which was equivalent to an expert with 9 grand daos. In particular, his 4 great nomological laws had already stabilized. The next step was to construct new nomological laws to supplement the depths of the array and perfect the infinite great Tao once again. That's fine. Anyway, the moment I advance, I'll definitely get a lot of things. I'm just making an investment. Jiangli nodded. Then it's a deal. Wait, I'll teach you a part of the deepest mysteries of the heaven's will of the cultivation world. It's the same as sharing the secrets of the entire world with you. From now on, if anything happens to me, you can replace me and become the heaven's will of the entire world. As young man Tianyi spoke, he waved his hand. Jiang Li could see all the changes in the cultivation world converging into his mind. A massive amount of information covered his soul flame. Instantly, he felt like his head was about to explode. However, he knew that this was the highest operating method of the entire cultivation world. The amount of information was enormous, including the growth of all living things, the derivation of vital energy, the manipulation of time and space, the birth and death of souls, the mark of the void, the arrangement of the crystal wall. These things were the true structure of a dimension, and this was the true information. From now on, sacrificing me is equivalent to sacrificing yourself. You are the cultivation world, and I am also the cultivation world. Young man Tianyi said, perhaps you still can't understand the operation of the entire world and the changes in the entire dimension. But as your cultivation improves, you'll slowly understand everything. Jiang Li couldn't spare any attention. He couldn't reply to young man Tianyi. The massive amount of information caused his soul flame to flicker, as though it was about to be extinguished. Although this was knowledge, too much knowledge could easily kill a person's soul. Fortunately, Jiang Li had the Grand Emperor's relic to help him slowly comprehend the information. This knowledge was also very important to him. In the future, he would be able to comprehend this knowledge and comprehend more moves of the infinite divine fist. He had already comprehended the 14th move of the infinite divine fist, infinite heaven yuan. As he continued to comprehend the infinite divine fist, he would be able to comprehend even more laws. The move infinite heaven yuan contained the true meaning of heaven yuan. Heaven yuan meant to strike the center. Jiang Li suddenly had an idea. Heaven yuan is a great Tao. Perhaps I can evolve the center into a law. Yes, the central law. The center of the universe, the center of the myriad worlds, the center of the people, and the center of all living beings. The Emperor and Heaven's will are a form of concentration. As Jiang Li was comprehending, the fifth law flashed in his mind. That was the center. Among his 4 laws, truth, fate, emotion, and fate. They formed the foundation of the world, but they lacked a fulcrum. That was the center. Therefore, he needed to condense the central law. The central law was very mysterious. It was the foundation of the Emperor, the king of all living beings. Once this law was mastered, the structure of the world would be truly stable, just like the legendary 5 elements of earth: fire, water, wind, and space. The infinite great Tao had a hint of perfection. Roughly a month passed. Jiang Li stayed in the heavenly will space for a month, constantly comprehending the mysterious changes of the world. Suddenly, his body trembled as he felt a large amount of energy pouring into his body. It was an extremely wondrous feeling. He hurriedly opened his eyes and deactivated his psychic realm. He saw many humans, cultivators, and sect leaders on Earth and in the solar system. They were all hunting monsters and then sacrificing them. Every time he made a sacrifice, he would feel a warm and comfortable feeling. What? Why do I feel a part of the power of the sacrifices when humans start hunting? Jiang Li found it strange. He felt that he had separated himself from the masses. He was high and mighty like a god. In human society, even the high and mighty leaders would not feel this way. Is it strange? Because I've already taught you about 1% of the true meaning of the cultivation world, Heaven's will said. The youth of Heaven's will asked, so, you can also sense the power of sacrifice now. Has your worldview and vision changed? Yes. Indeed, this worldview is very helpful to my cultivation. My vision has been broadened. Jiang Li carefully savored the feeling of the Heaven's will. being sacrificed was too special. Alright, I'll start a crazy sacrifice to kill those monsters. I want to see what it feels like to sacrifice myself. Most importantly, the world will level up. Zhongli now knew that when the world leveled up, he would also level up. As for how much he would level up, it was hard for him to imagine. He soared into the sky. Chapter 600. The human plan had been activated. Regardless of whether it was within the human race or other sects, they had all organized teams to go to Earth to hunt monsters as sacrifices. Although the sacrifice of a few people was nothing, once the number of people accumulated, the number and strength would be considerable. Especially now that the number of humans had increased to 1.2 trillion, and there were about 100 trillion humans from the various sects in the cultivation world. Experts were everywhere, and they all swarmed to Earth and the solar system to hunt monsters. Everyone helped each other and worked in an orderly manner. This way they could cooperate with each other and unleash several times the destructive power. When Zhongli saw that all the experts of humanity were moving, he naturally didn't want to be left out. The overall situation of humanity had stabilized. In fact, he could leave peacefully like Wang Chao, but he still had to wait for the cultivation world to advance. Only then would there be true peace. With one step, he left the cultivation world. With another step, he was in the solar system. He didn't go through the passageway but directly crossed space. This meant that his cultivation had reached an unbelievable level. Saints couldn't fly that far. Tao experts were stronger than saints and could travel in the depths of the vast space, but it still took some time for their bodies to cross. However, Jiang Li's current cultivation far surpassed that of an ordinary great Tao realm powerhouse. His spiritual power was equivalent to that of a powerhouse with 9 great Tao realms. At this moment, his physical body was already meaningless. It was all about the energy matrix and spiritual power crossing over. After arriving at a different place, he would reassemble his physical body. There were monsters everywhere in the solar system, especially with Earth as the center. Jiang Li landed on Earth and found that human teams were continuously coming out of the passageway. Some of them were very elite and well-trained. With a whoosh, they surrounded the monsters and subdued them. Then, they began to sacrifice. After the sacrifice, as expected, the cultivation world's feedback runes poured down from above their heads, increasing their mental energy and divine abilities. Even their vitality was rising. Awesome! Jiang Li landed in the 36 flourishing cities, and saw that the golden dragon nests were now riddled with holes, and there were many monsters living in them. A team of 5 searched through them and suddenly discovered a golden sky dragon. They hurriedly set up a large formation to trap it. This golden sky dragon's strength was roughly at the 3rd level of the meditative mind realm. There were many runes condensed in its body, making it extremely powerful. However, the group of 5 was even stronger. The leader was a young man wearing a dark golden armor. There were densely packed patterns on it, and with just a slight movement, he seemed like the king of ghosts and gods, capable of tearing apart ancient times. This is the highest armor we humans have researched, heavenly Tao battle armor. After wearing it, you can rival Saint. It's very difficult to forge. Jiang Li saw that this young man was a talent. He wasn't a saint, but he had many runes in his body. He was only one step away from saint. The current armors of the human race had greatly improved compared to the past. This was especially so after they had obtained 100% control over the AI of the Lord's ship. The toughness, lethality, and defense of the armors of each level had all undergone earth-shaking changes. Back then, human battle armor was divided into low tier, mid-tier, high tier, super tier, and holy tier. Now, under the research of the Science Academy, there was a new level of battle armor, which was Heavenly Tao battle armor. Moreover, the science academy that Jiang Zhendong presided over was still researching stronger battle armor, which was the eternal battle armor. However, this research had not succeeded yet. If the research was successful, then ordinary people wearing this battle armor would be able to contend against great Tao-level powerhouses. With a dragon's roar, the golden sky dragon was suppressed by the team of 5 and then sacrificed. The team leader in the heavenly Tao-level warship took a deep breath and said, "The power of the cultivation world is still too weak. Sacrificing the heavenly Tao-level warship gave us very little. Leader, our immortal team has been a strong team for a long time. Don't you secretly have the martial world's password? Why don't you sacrifice it to the martial world?" A team member said. So, these people are the members of Starry Sky University's immortal team. Indeed, they were elites a long time ago. I can't believe they're so strong now, Jiang Li secretly observed. When he was a freshman in Starry Sky University, the immortal team was the top team, almost as famous as Martial Goliath. But now, these people were overshadowed by Jiang Li's halo. This leader is called Saint Fang. I remember him, but how did he know the martial world's password? Jiang Li quietly stopped and watched what the immortal team was going to do next. It should be noted that Meng Jiangnan's martial world password was taught by Jiang Nailan. Then, could this leader, or the immortal team, be related to Jiang Nailan? Or could he be a chess piece set up by Jiang Nailan to subvert humanity? He had to be careful. Moreover, rumor had it that the immortal team was named after this group of people because they admired Jiang Nailan. No, sacrificing the world of cultivation to help the whole world ascend is a major event for us humans. I don't hesitate on this point. My martial world password was given to me by Jiang Nailan, but Jiang Nailan is crazy and has no order at all. Even if you cooperate with him, he will lose his credibility and devour you at any time. Look at how Meng Jiangnan was fooled by him. Saint Fang sneered. On the other hand, Jiang Li is quite magnanimous. He won't harm anyone and does everything according to the law. But one day I want to challenge him. Our immortal team has always been the top team. The members were all experts and they also had military ranks. They were the marshals of the army. These people were already the cream of the crop. Challenge me. When Jiang Li heard these words, he smiled. Not bad, not bad. Humans need people like this. Only then will they have a promising future. They abide by order, but they have an independent personality. They dare to challenge authority, but they also look at the big picture and care about the entire race. I like people like this. These people are the future of humanity. He was not unhappy at all. On the contrary, he was very happy. However, I still need to be wary of Jiang Nailan. He will always be a scourge if he doesn't die. He will rope in the higher-ups of humanity and corrupt us from the inside. I can't guard against them all. After all, I can't interfere with other people's privacy. Jiang Li knew that the most important thing now was to find and kill Jiang Nailan. Otherwise, he would be a huge hidden danger. He left the members of the immortal team and came to the center of the Golden Dragon Lair. It was where the Huaxia Imperial Palace used to be. This was the passage to the Dragon World. Ever since Long Zitian was killed last time, the Dragon World's army had retreated in panic. Since then, there hadn't been any large-scale invasion of the Dragon World's passageway. However, there would occasionally be some scattered dragon race coming over. However, these dragon race couldn't do anything and were directly hunted down by the humans. But Jiang Li knew that the dragon race wouldn't give up. They would make a comeback. However, he didn't want to attack the dragon world. He just came here to take a look. The dragon race weren't evil creatures. The first ones he wanted to kill were the nether race and the demon race. The dragon world's heaven's will is indeed cold and noble. Arriving in front of the dragon world's passage, Jiang Li sent a strand of spiritual energy into it. He carefully sensed the existence of the heaven's will and found that he understood many things. At this moment, he saw things differently. After observing the passage to the dragon world, he left and came to another passage on Earth. This was the place where the nether race appeared last time. In the depths of the passage there was an aura of darkness, decay, death, and ruin. The heaven's will was ancient and had a huge amount of resentment. It was pure evil and chaotic. It had the tendency to destroy everything, the world, and even oneself. The passage to the netherworld is here. Where is the passage to the demon world? It doesn't seem to be open yet. Jiangli searched with his divine will. He didn't start hunting. Although there were many monster experts in the entire solar system, none of them were worthy of him attacking. If he wanted to attack, he would need at least 3, 5, 6, or even stronger grade DAOs. The rest would be left for the younger generation to handle. Why haven't the experts of the netherworld appeared? Jiangli was puzzled. He sent his divine will in like fishing, luring out the demons. The nether race was powerful, evil, and chaotic. They weren't as cunning as the demon race, so it was easy to lure them out. As soon as his divine will seeped into it, he instantly felt the vastness of the netherworld. It was a plain that stretched as far as the eye could see, even vaster than the starry sky. There were decaying swamps and quagmires everywhere, as well as a world filled with poisonous gas. Normal creatures wouldn't be able to survive for even a second in there. However, the nether race and the netherworld creatures were like fish in water. They loved rotting, poisonous gas, killing, and resentment. In an instant, Jiangli felt several tyrannical netherworld wills madly pouncing towards him, as if they were flies that had seen blood. His soul fire was too obvious, and to the netherworld creatures, it was the best delicacy. However, he didn't fight in the depths of the netherworld. Instead, he taunted, "Demons of the netherworld, I am an expert from the immortal world. If you have what it takes, come out. Come out." Roar, roar, roar. Sure enough, angry divine will rippled out from the depths of the netherworld. Jiangli retracted his divine will and waited at the entrance to the passage. As soon as he retracted his divine will, a roar came from within. Crackle! Space shattered and turned into poisonous gas. Within the gray gas, a dark golden demonic claw reached out. This claw was as large as a mountain, and there were nether race characters on it. They were twisted resentment. Rumble! Jiangli reached out and grabbed the devilish claw. Then he yanked the infernal out of the netherworld, pulling it out of the netherworld. The infernal was shocked and had no idea what was going on. An expert with 3 great DAOs had been pulled out. Jiangli clenched his hand into a fist, and cracking sounds could be heard as the infernal collapsed, transforming into a green smoke that vanished without a trace. Jiangli suddenly felt an indescribable power inside of him, a power that was completely different from the nether races. It was the power of sacrifice. He was sacrificing himself. After the sacrifice, he carefully considered what it meant to be sacrificed, what it meant to be repaid, and what it meant to be exchanged for power. For a moment, he was lost in thought. It was at this point that a shadowy figure suddenly appeared in the netherworld. In the blink of an eye, it was right next to Jiangli. Jiangli's eyes flickered. Chapter 601. Wu Lu Sha. Jiangli was shocked, and his body had already drifted away. This was instinctive, because he felt that there was a tyrannical aura in this person's body. In the unseen world, it could make ghosts and gods bow their heads and immortals bow their head. This was the aura of the martial world. In fact, the martial world's combat power could be said to be number 1 in all the realms, but why was the martial world itself inferior to the immortal realm? That was because of a series of reasons. Strength never depended on martial power. However, everyone knew that the people of the martial world were terrifying. Jiangli, I know you. Wu Lusha stood in front of the passage to the underworld. The roiling underworld aura rushed out and eroded his body, but he was completely unaware of it. His body was the indestructible golden body. He alone blocked all the underworld aura, and he could even block the passage to the underworld by himself. Jiang Nailan told me about you, Wu Luxia said. Wu Luxia said, from the looks of it, I still underestimated you. You actually shared the entire world with the cultivation world's heaven's will. The sacrifice you are making now is a sacrifice to yourself. Putting aside your cultivation, your worldview has already undergone a fundamental change. Respected existence of the martial world, could it be that you have also listened to Jiang Nailan's bewitchment and become enemies with the humans of Earth? Jiang Li calmed his mind. He was a little fearful, but he still maintained sufficient poise and etiquette. No, no, no. The martial world does not become enemies with anyone, Wu Luxia said. We do not like to conquer, we only like to challenge. But don't worry, I will not fight you now, because your value has not reached its peak. When the entire cultivation world begins to advance, that will be the time when you are at your most glorious, and also when you reach the peak of your life. Only then will I make a move, and only killing you will be of value. The martial world is not an evil universe. Why do you want to kill me and destroy humanity? The purpose of the martial world is to pursue martial arts and maintain neutrality. You better not be tempted by Jiang Nailan and enter the demonic path. He has the aura of the demon race on him, and his madness is even more demonic than the demons. Jiang Li was still trying to persuade Wu Luxia, based on the principle of having another friend. You really pay more attention to order than Jiang Nailan, but Jiang Nailan is not someone from the demon realm. Wu Luxia smiled faintly. He is a seed of our orthodox martial world. A long time ago, he obtained a martial arts talisman. Now, he can ascend to the martial world at any time. I hope that we humans can maintain a friendly relationship with the martial world. Jiang Li was speaking from the bottom of his heart. The Wu Luxia in front of him was not from the devil race, nor was he from the underworld race. He did not have the heart to kill innocents or view human lives as worthless. Otherwise, with his means, he could definitely cause a massacre in the solar system. I didn't say that I don't want to be friends with humans. I only said that you have the intelligence and strength to fight with me. So, I want to kill you in battle. I have no interest in other humans. Wu Luxia said, let them fend for themselves. If I had any enmity towards you humans, I would have killed all of you with so many humans here. Thank you, Jiang Li said. Since you want to fight me, then come. It's better to fight early than late. Forget it now. The current you has no value in fighting, Wu Luxia said. I also want to hone my martial arts. This is a very good battlefield, and experts are about to appear. You don't want to fight me, but I want to fight you. Jiang Li's body suddenly grew taller. I, Jiang Li, am actually not afraid of the martial world. I just feel that the fate of humans is full of difficulties. We need to maintain stability. But you are colluding with Jiang Nailan, and it is very dangerous. I solemnly propose to negotiate with you now. Hand over Jiang Nailan. Hand him over to us to judge. Oh! Wu Luxia was surprised. You are very bold. You even dare to resist the martial world. Our martial world can only use our iron fists to deal with those who resist. Jiang Nailan is my junior brother and also the hope that our martial world has nurtured. How can we hand him over to you? In that case, we can only fight. Jiang Li suddenly attacked. He pointed out with a finger. It crawled slowly, but it locked onto Wu Luxia. He attacked with the strongest move of the infinite divine fist, infinite sky origin. He knew that with Wu Luxia's cultivation, using other moves would be futile. Only by using his strongest martial arts could he force Wu Luxia into a desperate situation. Good martial arts. Seeing Jiang Li's attack, Wu Luxia's eyes lit up, bursting forth with a blinding light. He didn't even bother to look at Jiang Li, he simply punched out with his fist. Slow, heavy, and powerful, everything seemed to slow down under his fist, including time. Fist intent and fist technique, all in one. Break through the heart barrier, and you can see the prosperity of the world and the vicissitudes of life. Wu Liuxia's fist was first prosperous, then leaves fell, autumn wind rustled, and everything was vicissitudes. It was sad. It was like an old man in his twilight years reminiscing about his life. How many emperors, how many immortals, how many deities, in the end? They were all just a pile of dirt. The sad fist surged up from his heart. Bang! The fist and finger collided. Jiangli retreated repeatedly, but Wu Liuxia didn't move at all. However, he didn't fight with Jiangli. Instead, he twisted and his body slowly retreated into the void. But he didn't care. Gradually, the experts of the infernal folk stopped coming out. No matter how much Jiangli tried to lure them out, they turned a deaf ear to him. No more invincible figures like Mo Yixiong or Blood Devil Xuejing appeared. They were powerful, but the pressure of the third dimension was too great, so they didn't want to come out for now. Once the will of the myriad worlds' celestial orb was strengthened, it could spread out and greatly reduce the pressure of the third dimension. It looks like the infernal folk won't be able to lure out any more experts. Jiangli waited for a long time, but no infernal folk came out. He couldn't help but laugh. Oh, at this moment cheers rang out on earth. Jiangli saw that in the depths of the ocean there was a crack. Many experts of the human race were surrounding and killing a saint. That's right, it was a saint. Because of the advancement of technology, all experts of the human race wore heavenly Tao armor. Divine armor and martial armor had long been common, so the human race's combat strength had greatly increased. This time, there were no human saints among those who surrounded the foreign race saint, but a group of human meditative level experts. They were all clad in armor. The immortal team was among them. Their leader, Fang Xing, was the fiercest. He fought alone and suppressed the saint's body. In the end, many people shot out resplendent light, forming an immortal formation that restrained the saint and began the sacrifice. With a ray of light, the saint of the mutated race was reduced to ashes. Everyone received the blessing of the cultivation world's heaven's will. Humans had become so powerful that with the help of armor and technology, a group of meditational experts could actually kill saints. Jiangli was gratified to see this. If this continued, humans would produce more saints. As expected, the surroundings of the myriad world's celestial orb were the best battlefield. I hope this can continue. If the myriad world's celestial orb doesn't strengthen, those experts won't appear. Only ordinary saints and great Tao experts will appear, and we humans will continue to hunt them down, Jiangli prayed. But just as he was praying, the entire myriad world's celestial orb suddenly shook. An invisible force spread out, and the myriad world's celestial orb changed again. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.